funny to see because it's such a lovely morning. There were little flakes of snow. Now, not lying, but just the temperature allowed.
But you'd wonder where them big blue skies, where the snow be coming from.
Well, it comes from the sky, doesn't it? It's upper air temperatures, Lee.
Right.
Do you know what I mean?
Even though there's no clouds and blue sky, there can be snow.
Well, it drifts, it flutters down.
Flutters.
I mean, anyway, how do you know there was no clouds? There was, like, little clouds.
Greg Hughes told me there was snow over there.
There was, just flakes. Flakes of snow.
Maybe you had the window down and it was dandruff. That's right, you don't have hair, you don't get dandruff. You can't get dandruff if you don't have no hair in the top, do you?
I don't know, but I would have presumed dandruff is your skin, isn't it?
Yes,
No?
it is, yeah.
And
well,
I
maybe
have skin on
you
my
could
head.
have dry skin, yeah.
So
Do you moisturise up there?
Of course I do.
Good man yourself.
It's all about YOLO, Gooch.
What's YOLO again?
Younger for longer.
Younger for longer. What's your daily routine?
Moisturise, washing my face is a controversial.
What about the
one.
beard? That Mark boy, he's a fantastic beard. He's the best beard in Highland Radio.
I couldn't be had with that too.
But
much
he
effort.
has, the proper procedures, the moisturiser, the conditioner, you name it, he's got
I'm
it.
not a big fan of people. I think you can overwash your face.
Yeah.
Because you wash all the goodness out of it. You know, the protections and stuff.
Yeah. Do you know how when we shave, right? You haven't shaved for a long time. I haven't shaved, right, for a long time. Do you know how de-exfoliating the skin and stuff? We're missing out on that.
Well, you have to be careful because the beard draws moisture from your face, Lee. So you have to be careful. It has to be fed.
Yeah. Do you think you would look funny now if you took that off?
No.
How much would it take? Here's one for you.
€1,000.
Greg Hughes would take €1,000 for charity. We're doing the big charity thing. Somebody paid, a business paid, or somebody with loads of money, 1,000. Could I shave? Could I 500?
Yeah.
Could I physically shave your beard in the studio on your program live for €500 if somebody was willing to commit it?
I mean, if it's for charity.
Now, are you listening, Caroline?
But no one's going to pay €500 to shave a beard.
No, but do you know
Well,
you never know. No.
It.
We'll make it worth your while. We'll give you loads of plugs and mentions, and we'll have the crack, and it'll be shared among social media on Highland Radio. We'll do a big thing about it.
And then we'll shave your head. How much? 5,000?
5,000. I'll shave my head.
1,000.
5,000. I'm not dropping like you.
5,000.
5,000. I love my hair. 5,000.
But you shave your head for 5,000.
I would shave it for charity for 5,000.
Well, I would. I don't have money. But say I was.
I would sell you my hair for 250.
No, I don't want your hair. But if I was, if I had $100,000 in the bank, I'd pay $5,000.
Would you? I would look so stupid. Daddy, but back to you now. That is so good. You brought that up. Isn't it funny the things that me and you bounce off?
It is.
€500. Anybody out there that's willing to donate?
Tell us, why would anyone pay for me to shave my beard?
Hold on, we have 3 worthy, great charities. Maybe you might want to team up with somebody saying, look, you give 250 and I'll give 250. You get all the PR of the day.
Yeah, but Ashleen can pay €600 then for me to keep it, like a bidding situation.
No, forget just a clean sweep. 500. I have a razor at the house. Blunty enough, I'll take it in, sharpen it up, and I'll trim your beard on Friday.
Trim? No, it has to come off completely.
Yeah. Yes.
Bald.
God, that'll be great.
Right,
Is it done then?
Well,
flag it up now in the programme.
No, I'm not mentioning it.
I'm going to flag it up tomorrow.
We'll leave it at that. It's just been mentioned.
Right,
all right
okay.
then. Thanks, Lee, for that.
You'll be a new man Friday.
And what could we get you to do for 500?
I'll be busy shaving you. You'll be all right.
All right, it is the 9 till noon show. A packed show coming up. We've got loads of great features for you. Of course, Community Garda information coming up after 10. But as we approach 2 minutes past 9, it's time for a news update. And apologies for the delay. Donna Marie Doherty, good morning to you.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. Donegal County Council has heard that a mobile hub to help those on the Enhanced Effective Concrete Block Grant Scheme could help move people along. Councillor Michael McBride, a member of the Defective Block Committee, says an office on wheel containing experts could travel to the worst affected townlands in a bid to expedite the process. He says previous similar initiatives such as the mobile bank have proved popular, and this is one way of reaching the more vulnerable people who are struggling with the paperwork.
You know, whenever you get speaking to somebody that's dealing with it all the time, they get to know every angle and every problem that people have, and it's a lot easier for them to deal with it. And the other side of the coin is as well, I'm sure these people would have to maybe go multiple times to talk to some people, and it's good if the same person's there all the time, if they can build up a relationship with them, get their confidence on them, and that they're there to help them right through the scheme. Because I think it's very important that everybody that wants to get on the scheme can get on it, and as I say, particularly people who struggle with IT and or elderly people and stuff like that.
A man was arrested in Strabane in the early hours of this morning following the seizure of £6,000 worth of drugs. Following a search of a property, a quantity of suspected herbal cannabis, cocaine, pregabalin and diazepam tablets were seized, as well as a sum of cash and 2 mobile phones. The 30-year-old remains in custody at this time, and the PSNI are appealing to the public to come forward with any information they believe they have in the sale and supply of drugs. Pope Francis has had another peaceful night. Yesterday, the Vatican revealed that the 88-year-old pontiff is no longer in imminent danger of death, but he will remain in hospital for a few more days as he's treated for double pneumonia. CAO has received over 83,000 applications, an almost 9% jump on last year. That includes 7,000 from applicants over the age of 23, an increase of almost 1,000 on the 2024 figures. There's been a surge in interest in a number of disciplines, including healthcare, construction and engineering. Psychiatric nurses will begin industrial action later this month in a dispute over staffing. The Psychiatric Nurses Association says its members will commence action on Wednesday the 26th. It says staffing has been reduced to unsustainable levels and services are being impacted as a direct result. Looking now to weather, dry for much of today, Tuesday, but noticeably cooler with brighter sunny spells and just isolated showers at first. These are mainly on the north coast. Later this afternoon, showers will develop more widely near the north coast, all with highest temperatures of 6 to 8 degrees. That's all for now from Highland Radio News. Back again at 10 o'clock.
Hassle-free broadband is here. With 3 5G home broadband, you just plug it in and you're good to go. From only €20 a month for up to 12 months. See in store or visit 3.ie. 12 months offer available to existing 3 customers excluding business and broadband customers. Applies to 5G home broadband plans only. Subject to coverage. 24-month minimum term. Direct debit and annual price increase of CPI plus 3%. Speeds may vary.
And now, it's time for the talk of the Northwest. The 9 to Noon Show with Greg Hughes on Highland Radio.
Hello and a very good morning to you on this Tuesday, the 11th of March 2025. It is 5 minutes past 9 and we are live with you for the next 3 hours here on the 9 to Noon Show. Looking forward to it. And we are looking forward to having your interactions with us as well. I'd say there's plenty that you'll want to get involved in terms of conversation, because there's quite a few big issues knocking about today. If you want to WhatsApp or text us, and we want to hear all of your views, even if you've never texted a radio station before, your view is incredibly important to us. 086 60 25,000, that's the WhatsApp and text number. If you're outside the Republic, 0035386 60 25,000. If you want to give us a call, Caroline and Shannon taking your calls on 074 91 25,000. And if you want to email, it's comments at highlandradio.com. And also, don't forget, if you're listening to the podcast or the overnight repeat, feel free to share your views. We'll pick them up and carry them over until the next live show. And of course, if you want to watch the programme today, we're the only station in the country that does it, for good or bad. You can watch the show. We're on YouTube, Highland Radio Ireland, which means we're good for the app, but also on your smart TV, your Fire Stick, if you are at home or work from home. And also we're on Facebook and on the X platform as well. Right, before we go to the papers, just Lee mentioned there our 35th birthday charity drive. And I just want to give you a quick early mention of this, if you don't mind, because we've got a great competition for you on Friday. It's a €1,000 cash giveaway by 9. We're giving away €9,000 in cash over 9 hours on Friday as part of our open day, where we've mixed up the programming and we've got loads of fantastic guests coming into studio, and we're inviting you to come up too and visit us here at Highland Radio at the Mountain Top in Letterkenny. But just for €10, you're entered into a draw with €9,000 in total of cash prizes, and we're going to have 9 €1,000 draws. Now, there ain't 20,000, 30,000, 40,000 people entering this competition, so it's good odds for you potentially to win. So it's simple. €10. You could win one of 9 €1,000 prizes. You could win them all because the tickets will go back in, but in terms of odds, you know yourself. And those draws will take place on Friday. So if you want to be in all of those draws, now is the time to get your ticket. Go onto our website, highlandradio.com. It's fully safe and secure and simple. But if you want to give us a call, we'll process the tickets for you as well. 074 91 25,000. And in fact, if you're just dealing cash and you're passing, call in and we'll sort you out. So that's not bad, is it? €10, just one ticket, and you could win €9,000 in lumps of one. Do you get where I'm coming from? Now, that would be good enough, wouldn't it? No problem. Get involved with that. But as you know, there's more to it because we are giving the money raised to Donegal Cancer Flights and Services, the Blue Stack Special Needs Foundation and Huey's Corner. And you'll have heard the ads during the ad breaks and, of course, on this programme, the conversations where we found out and learned or relearned the fantastic work that Donegal Cancer Flights and Services do. When people get that terrible news of a diagnosis and they're facing long travel distances to Dublin or to Galway or wherever it might be, the crew at Donegal Cancer Flights and Services are there to support them and take the pressure of travel away from them, wherever they are in the county. The Blue Stack Special Needs Foundation do amazing work in helping young people fulfill their potential. Every young person has different potential. They help them all achieve the very best. They help people with special needs or additional needs to get into the workforce. They bring people out of themselves. They boost confidence, and they all do it from Donegal Town and satellite offices and do amazing work there. All of the work they do in that regard is publicly funded. Huey's Corner, another fantastic charity that was born from a family's loss. It was realised that a young person, after they had passed, their siblings didn't have necessarily counselling services or support services to help them deal with that type of loss. And unfortunately, this does happen very regularly. Huey's Corner is there. It relies solely on charitable donations. So the point being, in buying your ticket, €10, you can win €1,000. You have 9 chances to win €1,000 on Friday, but the money goes then directly to these 3 amazing charities. And dependent on how generous you are, depends on how much. We had a great act of generosity at the Highland Radio Hospitality Awards there last Sunday. It's hard to keep track of the days. Sunday past, €2,000 was raised there. So that's in there. That's ready to go to be split amongst the charities. It's just a case of how generous you want to be. I know money's tight, but maybe you can spare a tenner. Go on to our website, highlandradio.com, or you can give us a call at 07491 25,000. But if you do it today, it's done then. You don't have to worry about it. And you don't have to answer your phone, by the way. If your ticket comes out of the Trombola, you've won. We do like to have a chat because we can have a bit of crack with you, but you don't have to answer your phone. You don't have to, there's no rings, there's no nothing like that there. Your ticket comes out, it's associated to your name, and you've got €1,000 cash to spend over St. Patrick's weekend. So, as I say, if you do feel generous today, we really would appreciate helping us support Donegal Cancer Flights and Services, the Blue Stack Special Needs Foundation, and Huey's Corner, and you've got that incentive of 9 chances to win €1,000 on Friday. So please, don't want to beg, don't want to rattle the bucket too much, but I'd love a wee boost for them this morning. As I say, the website, highlandradio.com, simple, safe, secure, but you can give us a call as well, 07491 25,000. It's Tuesday. Get it out of the way. By the time Friday comes, you've probably spent 25 quid in coffee and you'll have forgot you ever bought that ticket, but you'll be doing amazing work. Even that one ticket, €3.33 for Huey's Corner, Blue Stack, you multiply that up and it's really significant funding for them. So thanks in advance for your generosity. We really want to be able to hand over fantastic cheques on behalf of the Highland Radio family. Let's look at the newspapers this morning. The Donegal Democrats out. Alan Vile and Nikita Burns have been sentenced to life imprisonment for the murder of Robin Wilkin. Vile, 39, from Drummond Head, Kitty Beggs, and Burns, 23, of Carrick, had pleaded not guilty to Mr Wilkin's murder in Donegal on June 25th, 2023. A jury found each guilty of murder by majority, 10-2. Verdicts yesterday following a 2-month trial. Mr Justice Paul McDermott offered his condolences to the family of Mr Wilkin before imposing the mandatory life sentences in respect of each defendant. Vile's sentence was backdated July 14th, 23, when he first went into custody. Burns' sentence was backdated to August 29, 2023, presumably there for the same reasons. Water charges are back on the front pages. I wonder, has public attitude changed? Are we still, and when I say we, I'm not talking about my opinion, but we incredibly opposed to the water charges? Do you remember the protests? Or has attitudes changed a little bit, that people see it as a very important commodity that can't be wasted and needs to be paid for? I don't know the answer to that. I suspect I do, but I don't know. But households could face charges for excessive water use this year, 8 years after legislation was passed to allow for the move. Introducing the charges is a high-level priority for the Department of Housing, which says work on finalising the arrangements will be completed soon. The charges, expected to be capped at €500 a year, will apply to homes using abnormally large amounts of water. Some would say this is the first tranche of it. Look, they've continued to put in the infrastructure. They have the legislation on the books. It was just a case at the start, presumably, of a government term on pulling the trigger. They are aimed, the charges, primarily at households or householders who fail to fix leaks on their property or refuse to address other preventable causes of excessive water use. Every home would have a free allowance of water that Uisce Éireann, formerly Irish Water, says is well above the average annual domestic usage. Households larger than 4 people or with a member who has particular health issues would qualify for extra allowances. The department said the charges were necessary because of strains on water supply and to comply with EU legislation. I'm thinking of water wastage, and I can't help but think of the conversation we had with the gentleman last week. He was talking about water running down the bottom of Long Lane in Letterkenny for a couple of weeks. He'd reported it, nothing had been done. But anyway, the department said it's not intended as a revenue raising measure. Before implementing the household water conservation charge, regulations relating to the provision of extra free allocations for people with health needs and for households to seek additional allowances based on household size need to be prepared. So the simple question is, what do you think about that? They say it's not revenue gathering, but they say that too about speed cameras. They are saying that it would only be those who refuse to fix leaks on their property or who are excessive users of water. Maybe they have a swimming pool. I don't know. The old usual arguments. But it looks like, particularly at the start of the government term, as you can imagine, they're not going to do this in the last year of a government term. They want this done and dusted really, really soon. What do you think about it? Do you think, as a conservation measure, it's the right way forward? Do you think that this is the start of it? This is the water rates finally coming in, pardon the pun, drips and drabs. Let me know. 086 60 25,000. Interested in your views too on the story on the front of the Irish Times. About 1 in 20 school children are being diagnosed with autism, a threefold increase in under a decade, Department of Education figures show. The growing incidence is placing strain on the school system as authorities scramble to find appropriate places for children with additional needs. Dozens of parents protested earlier this month outside the department as part of a sleep out to draw attention to shortages of school places for children with special needs. Official records show the department has moved from using an estimated autism prevalence rate of 1.5 to 1.6% among children several years ago to 5% now. It says this means at least 400 new special classes and 200 new special school places will be required every year for the next 3 years to keep pace with demand. The need for special education places at second level is also projected to increase significantly. But I mean, obviously that is a significant increase. Are we diagnosing better? Is the net being cast wider in terms of what qualifies for an autism diagnosis? Is there some other trigger to it? I mean, all of those conversations are going to be triggered, aren't they? Do you have any views on that? I'd imagine those of you a certain age, and I know a lot of people get diagnosed with certain conditions late in life, and then their school years all of a sudden make a great deal of sense, right? So maybe we're just catching up on the cases that were already there. But 1 in 20 seems, or 5% seems quite significant, doesn't it? What do you think? 086 60 25,000. The company at the centre of the €6.7 million failed IT system fiasco at the Arts Council also oversaw 2 Department of Agricultural projects that ran almost €1 million over budget. Irish tech firm Codec was contracted by the department in 2019 and again in 2022 to overhaul its consumer helpline system, which previously relied on staff in call centres, and develop a new chatbot service, that's AI effectively, which is all crap. Anytime I try and engage in a meaningful way with AI, it really doesn't work out well. The answers are not really accurate, I've found, and I've been quite thorough in relation to that, and also chatting to chatbots like Amazon have invested very heavily in it, and I find it also pretty crap. But anyway, while the projects, which cost a combined total of 3.3 million, were successfully delivered, both ran over budget. The first project saw an overspend of roughly €600,000, with the second amassing overruns of €370,000. What's going on? Where is the oversight? Where is the accountability? Who's at fault? Why is one company allowed to run over budget on 2 projects and then completely make a mess of a third? How can you keep getting these contracts? What's going on? I would love to be able to be so fast and loose with people's money and then still make money myself. What a life that would be. Just waste money, but also make money. But that's what some of these companies seem to be able to do. On to the Star now, and the builders at the centre of the defective concrete block controversy in Donegal must make discovery of thousands of key documents along with test results requested by homeowners, a High Court judge has ordered. Mr Justice Mark Sanfey in the Commercial Court directed that the discovery be made by Cassidy Brothers Concrete by 5 p.m. yesterday. He said what disturbed him was that, I might not continue reading that there because they're not builders, they're providers, aren't they? I'll not read that because I'm not sure about that story, but he's talking about builders and providers, and I just want to make sure that's accurate. I'll review that and just make sure it hasn't been... they haven't conflated 2 issues there, just to be sure not to get in any bother. But I will go back to that. The Irish Daily Mirror this morning, big change in the profile of hotel residents. We know that some time ago, many spaces in hotels were taken up by asylum seekers. But the figures dropped really quite significantly. Just 7% of hotel rooms are now being used for accommodation for those seeking asylum, the tourism minister said yesterday. Shame this has come at the time where the backside seems to be falling out of the tourism market. But anyway, Patrick O'Donovan said this is down from 13% at the height of the accommodation crisis. The government has also predicted more hotel beds will be available for tourism this summer, with 12,000 returning to the system last year alone. Mr O'Donovan confirmed the figures to independent TD Matty McGrath following a dog question asking about the steps he's taking to address the policy to use hotels and tourism accommodation for international protection accommodation service applicants. He stated that the total proportion of hotel accommodation being used for humanitarian accommodation has fallen. Now, it doesn't tell the whole story because there are still some areas that their entire hotel accommodation is going to be taken up, but it's 7% of hotel rooms taken now for these purposes compared to 13% at the peak. But as I say, it's not actually right across the industry. It's in certain areas that are very much reliant on tourism. But I do note that even some iPass applicants who had been in hotels, and there was big controversies about it a couple of months ago, they seem to be moving to accommodation elsewhere in some cases. And finally, potentially the start of a sequence of events that maybe finally could lead to an end of hostilities in Ukraine. Volodymyr Zelensky landed in Saudi Arabia last night ahead of peace talks with the US. The Ukrainian leader was due to meet Saudi ruler Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman in Jeddah last night. Discussions between his senior officials and a US team led by Secretary of State Marco Rubio will then kick off today. Zelensky is not involved in those conversations. He has a team that will do that. They will come 11 days after the huge White House row between Mr. Zelensky and US President Donald Trump. The US has since suspended military aid to Ukraine and stopped sharing intelligence in the war effort against Russian tyrant Putin. I thought that they had lifted the stay on sharing intelligence. I did note it was still referenced as being in place on RTE this morning. It's in the papers today, but I thought that I had read that intelligence sharing had recommenced. Anyway, that was a run through some of the stories on the front of and inside the papers today. We have lots coming up. Coming up after 10, we have Community Garda information, where you hear the very latest appeals and information from An Garda Síochána first here on Highland Radio. That and so much more besides, including a very interesting conversation of a man's experience of studying in Letterkenny and the impact it had on him. All of that on the way.
Newspapers are courtesy of Cosgrove, Centra and Diner, Mountaintop, Letterkenny.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union, now offering mortgages from 40,000 to 600,000 euro with no hidden fees or transaction charges. Letterkenny Credit Union, 9102127.
Shower, teeth, clothes, coffee, keys, car, drive, work. Shower, teeth, clothes, coffee, keys, car, drive, work. Shower, teeth, clothes, coffee, keys, car, drive, truck! You never know what's coming. Slow down on rural roads. A message from the Road Safety Authority. Visit rsa.ie.
Right Price Tiles, wood flooring and bathware are 27 years old. And to celebrate, we're offering up to 70% off everything in store. That's right, a massive birthday sale with up to 70% off all tiles, wood flooring and bathware. Everything's in stock. Right Price Tiles, wood flooring and bathware. Up to 70% off birthday sale. Extended until Sunday.
Feast on the best of Ireland from Dunn Stores. Save 20% on Board Bia quality assured Irish meats like succulent centre cut ham or a 2.4 kilogram cook in the bag sage and onion stuffed chicken. Perfect served with fresh vegetables like green cabbage, just 49¢. Try our Irish Indulgence cheese range, any 3 for 2. Plus, save at the till with our 10 off 50 grocery vouchers. Dunn Stores, always better value. Terms and conditions apply. Voucher can be used on next grocery shop of €50 or more.
Irwin Expert Electrical, your trusted destination for all things home appliances, electrical and entertainment in the Northwest. With over 50 years of leading the way, we pride ourselves on offering a diverse range of products under one roof. From top brands like LG, Samsung, Kouture, Bosch, Apple and more, take advantage of our free layaway service where you can store your new items until you're ready for them. Perfect for renovations and new build projects. Visit Irwin Expert Electrical today in Letterkenny or Buncrana.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is?
It's just approaching 25 minutes past 9. On the show yesterday, we spoke to a caller called Brian. He was concerned about, I suppose, the overall infrastructure of Convoy with it growing, expanding, but particularly it started off with concern about crossings at the two local schools. And he says he's made representations to the council and he believes something has to be done before something bad happens. Councillor Patrick McGowan is joining us now, actually. Good morning to you, Patrick. Thanks for your time.
Good morning, Greg.
This is an issue that is across the table of the local reps and the council. Would you sort of not concede, but agree that there is an issue in terms of safety infrastructure in the area?
Yeah, well, look, I would say, first of all, Convoy have been worse than a lot of the other towns throughout the county, but that in particular has been a problem, particularly outside the schools. Now, saying that, as you know, the government came in with an initiative about a couple of years ago, so they call it the Green Safe Ways to Schools. Now, we're very fortunate in our MD. We had one of the first in the county down there in Raphoe, and MD drive through. Raphoe can see the fantastic jobs, about 100 metres on either side of the school and right across. So you have new footpath layouts, park and drop off, and ramps and lights and everything. So actually, within our MD, Convoy is the next in our list. We're then Convoy, and then after that, it's Cheshire. Like, we didn't pick these. There's a very strict criteria. So at least the St. Bridget's School in Convoy is on that. That's across from Town Park. So they have our design office in Lifford has been doing some design work. And obviously, like, all these things, this is passed to the department, and then they'll determine what speed we go at. But another thing I must very much welcome, something I've been pushing and speaking to a lot of people in Convoy about, is a lot of schools in the interim take measures themselves. Like we had it years ago in St. Mary's National School in Stranraer, where parents are encouraged to drive into the car parks and round the back out again, and then drop off their children and they exit. So you don't have a hope of parents dropping up at the last minute, children running here and there.
And do you think that's kind of contributing to some of the issues in Convoy that in the interim maybe?
Of course. Yeah. Right, look, it's very much so, and a lot of the schools look around the county. You look at 5 minutes to 9, coming last minute, running here, parents running this way, children running. So you can see it every school.
So you're saying parents need to be a bit better organised in the mornings?
Not a bit, a lot better. Even going up Lurgy Brack, I pass it, and we all talk about it, and you pass it, like, it's crazy. And when you actually drive and past some of these schools, there are parking spaces there. Everybody, it's like a supermarket, everybody wants to park at the front door, run in, run out. And, you know, it is accidents waiting to happen. There's a lot of responsibility down to the parents. I know, having for years speaking to board of management in schools, they have enough to contend with within the four walls. As they say, they don't want to get involved or fall out with parents outside. But I must welcome St. Bridget's. I've actually seen a map now where they actually drive in around the school, drop off their children and exit. So you won't have 10, 20 cars sitting on the road. See, a lot of complaints I was actually getting in Convoy was actually from the local residents, local priests many years ago. All the gateways, driveways were blocked. You're ducking and diving and around between cars and parents and doors opening. When actually you have big car parks there, we're able to. It's a bit of management. I know St. Bridget's. I've actually seen them. Somebody sent me a map there during the week of it. Now, like Convoy, the main street, we have another joint national school in the main street in Convoy, and that in itself is a big issue every day through Convoy. There's just not enough room for 2 lanes of traffic to go through. And many of the time I spoke to engineers, but I wouldn't leave it to engineers.
So what is the plan then in terms of safety crossings? Where 2 schools are, you would expect there to be safety crossings. A, you'd hope it slows the traffic down, which helps cars pass each other, but B, for the children's safety. Are you saying, and I'm sorry if I didn't pick up on it, are you saying that will happen? It's part of ongoing plans at the moment?
Yeah, St. Bridget applied way back a couple of years ago. It was advertised 2-3 years ago under the Department of Transport for all schools to apply under this scheme. And then that's come on and designed, and there's quite a big budget there for doing up the whole round the entrance to the school, about pick-up, drop-offs, road crossing, traffic lights, whatever it takes. Instead of doing it one-off, these are very good, well designed. And I know definitely St. Bridget's. I'm not sure if the joint national school on Main Street in Convoy, but it's certainly one that there are. I know of a number of schools that should have applied for it, and for whatever reason they didn't. And hopefully there'll be another round. But within our MD, outside St. Bridget's National School at Town Parks is in that scheme. The next one being designed in our area, as I say, after Rafo and then Cheshire. The Main Street in Convoy is a different kettle of fish. There's just simply not enough room for 2 cars to pass. That's why you've.
Yeah, I was contacted by.
There as well.
I know this is sort of maybe outside of the council's remit, but I was contacted by a few, 2 or 3 people actually now that happened upon NTA officials doing surveys of schools on main roads. Effectively, if I could describe it like that there, and some were suggesting that we could be seeing more temporary speed limits applied in some of these schools. Has that come across your desk at all? So one person mentioned they were hoping to have it done by the end of the year.
Yeah, look, it is. There's a couple of things they're looking at. They're looking at bus stops and within a lot of our towns, like Killygarden, Kilfin, Lifford, and throughout the county. And this is property, not just bus stops, bus shelters, because it's ridiculous in this time and age. And also they're looking at the national primary roads at outside schools. This is an ongoing thing. The whole thing about flashing lights, as you remember back some years ago, the National Roads Authority paid for them, whereas the other schools on the country roads, that was an issue between the school and the county council. The council had to step up there and work with the school. So you'll always see the national roads will be catered for a lot quicker and better. Okay. But I do welcome the initiative for Convoy. It's slow going. She regards the other issues about speeding and getting through it. It's not going to be easy to deal with through traffic.
But until we start dealing with things like that in our towns and villages, it's going to hinder development. You know, we're talking about the need for extra provision of houses and all that kind of stuff. But unless our road, water and power infrastructure is up to scratch, nothing's going to be fit to be done because, you know, it would be very hard as a planner to look at an area like Convoy, and I'm just using that as an example, and sort of say, yeah, it can take an additional, 200, social and types of houses, because that's going to be one of the biggest barriers to this government or any government reaching their targets, I think.
Yeah, it is, and unfortunately, sometimes we get the developments before we get the necessary infrastructure. I've been raising this several times at our MD, particularly about convoys, amount of houses going on there. Now, most of the houses at the moment, convoy are planned are social housing. We have now asked that there be no more granted for social housing, whether it's voluntary or council housing, until there would be a health check done on convoy. Basically, this is So just recap,
say that again. The councillors have said there should be a stay on.
I am particular.
Sorry, you said there there should be a stay on the provision of housing in Convoy until...
social housing.
Right. That's amazing that we're in that situation.
No, look, it's something that I said many years ago, that happened many years ago during the Celtic Tide and the boom, when all the building was going on everywhere. It was actually builder-led, not demand-led. And a lot of people, when they couldn't get enough land or plan Letterkenny, were jumping out into Convoy, very convenient land. And if you look at the amount of developments on it, okay, it's not too far into Letterkenny, but what I said as well, it's easier to get plan in Convoy that doesn't have a town plan, that isn't Balfay, Donegal Town, Buncran, or Letterkenny, and they have town plans. There's more restrictions.
Right.
All I'm saying is it needs to be what you said a few months ago. It needs to be planned. We need to look at the infrastructure.
Okay.
And what that man said as well, we need to look at the schools, we need to look at the doctors, and we need to look. But Convoy has an exorbitant amount of housing coming at the moment. We have agreed now to, based on our numbers, our needs, and our wants going forward for quite a few years, and I can tell you they've stretched the point. It could be up to, 50, 60 houses with a waiting list for first preference is 24. Now, told that there are a lot of people there at Kenny have down Convoy for the second and third, but I've said, look, we need to work with a very good group in Convoy, the Convoy Community Environmental Group, and I would like the council to sit down and sit with them and look at the needs of Convoy. This needs to be needs-led, not development.
Okay, just a bit of feedback in Castlefin here. New lights in Castlefin Greenway. A caller says it needs speed ramps or something as you approach them. Since September, I had 2 instances where cars have drove straight through the red light while I was on the crossing. My 5-year-old was nearly killed. So that's someone with real experience in that area.
That's the same as, again, Letterkenny, Balfay, any traffic lights. That's why we need the Garda. The council puts in the infrastructure. It's up to the Garda and only the Garda to monitor and do something. We need to get them out of the stations, out of Letterkenny station during the week, and out round the rural back roads and everywhere else. The public need to see a presence there, not just walking up and down the main street in Letterkenny. That's a lot of people are potato. We need to get them out around. All
right,
this is.
Councillor McGowan, thanks for your time. Do appreciate it. Take care of yourself. Councillor Patrick McGowan there. Staying on the roads too, a lot of people are perplexed at these. Well, I think people get the message now. These signs where it's like 5 lines. There's not actually a speed limit on it. And obviously the RSA were conscious of the fact that nobody had a clue what was going on. And they spent a fortune on ads on radio, on TV, on social media as well. But one thing I noticed... in the vehicle I'm driving at the moment, it has signpost recognition. So that if you approach a 50, it goes to 50 and warns you if you exceed that, 80, 100, etc. But it doesn't pay any heed to these signs without a number on it. And I'm just thinking, in terms of giving drivers a fair crack of the whip, that seems a gap. Now, is that a gap in the software on the car that I'm driving, or have you noticed that yourself? Because all of these roads aren't sort of little tiny tracks with grass going up the middle of them. Some of them are actually, the main roads people use to get to and from places, or where Google Maps might send a driver, for an example. So I'm just wondering if it's unique to the vehicle I'm driving, or have you spotted that too, that the signpost recognition software that's in most new cars now doesn't seem to recognise these 5 or 4 diagonal black lines, which again... not great, I suppose. Just a quick one before we take a break, and then I have my next guest on. Hi, Greg. Could you please bring to light what the hell's going on in Letterkenny University Hospital? I have a loved one awaiting a scan after being admitted to the ED yesterday at 5. They still have not been seen. There are people scattered everywhere on stools and trolleys as far as the eye can see, with just 2 doctors on and 10 cubicles to treat patients. We've seen many patients overnight in obvious discomfort give up and just go home. Surely this cannot be the norm. Unfortunately, giving up and going home, it may not be the norm. It happens an awful lot, and we actually have the figures in relation to that. We were speaking about this yesterday. Former General Manager Pat Harvey, he seemed to blame he seemed to think that internally they could be doing stuff, and he seemed to be suggesting that the various arms of management could come together and look at this. And he says the priority should be what's going on, why are people waiting so long, and what can we do to limit that number, to not accept waits of 7, 8, 9, 10 hours, but to say we need to get people seen in 1 or 2 hours. He believes it can be done. As I say, he's the former head of Northwestern Health Board, former manager down there. So What is going on? I can't answer that question. If I could answer that question, I would click my fingers if I could and make it better.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate car loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today.
Refresh your space for summer with Foy's of Ballybuffet in Letterkenny. Whether you're looking to refresh your home or transform your business, Foy's experts are here to help you every step of the way with free interior design and paint colour consultations. From wallpapers to curtains, blinds to lighting and accessories to furniture styling, we've got it all. Ask about our defective block support scheme. Foy's of Ballybuffet in Letterkenny, the largest paint and wallpaper stockist in the Northwest.
Are you on the hunt for a reliable car that offers exceptional value for money? At iMotors, we have a huge range of 2024 nearly new Nissan models available. Whether it's petrol, hybrid or fully electric, Nissan has a 2024 model that suits your lifestyle. All our nearly new Nissans come with low mileage and are prepared by our expert team. Visit us today at imotors.ie to find out more.
iMotors, fearless generation.
I'm Fionnuala Fibre O'Farrell Flynn, racing across the country to keep up with NBI's fibre rollout. Over 50 broadband providers are using NBI's network to bring high-speed fibre broadband to homes across Ireland. So from Ballyliffin to Ballybuffet, homeowners can pick whatever package suits their needs and still get all the benefits of rural Ireland's dedicated fibre broadband network. Connect at nbi.ie.
NBI is delivering the government's national broadband plan.
Another connection. Oh, I knew I shouldn't have worn heels.
The Nutria's Milk Replacer range, which includes NutriStart and NutriStart Plus, offers the best start for your calves this spring season with 23% and 25% crude proteins, ideal for calf to beef and heifer rearing systems. Give your calves the best possible start. Available at your local Homeland store or online at homeland.ie. Visit nutrias.ie for full nutritional information.
Spring into gardening with J. Parker's, your trusted family-run experts for over 90 years. Now, ordering is easier than ever. Browse from the comfort of your home and have top-quality plants delivered direct to your doorstep. Choose from over 650 vibrant bulbs and plants at unbeatable prices. Plus, as a Highland Radio listener, enjoy 20% off your first order with code Highland20. Visit jparkers.com today and let's grow something amazing together. J. Parker's, helping you grow your garden for less.
Now, we're joined on the programme by Eamon McPartlin, who's patient advocate and the Neurological Alliance of Ireland board member. Good morning, Eamon. Thanks for your time today.
Good morning, Greg.
We
Thanks
are talking
about you.
No, it's great to talk to you. We're talking on a very important issue, actually. It's the lack of neuro-rehabilitation teams in Donegal, and there is a concern that this is having a very negative impact on people with neurological conditions. So what is, I suppose, explain to us who would avail of these services and what gaps are there, Eamon, so we have a full understanding of the topic.
Yeah, perfect, Greg. So the community neurorehabilitation teams are to be accessible to anyone with a neurological condition. So that could vary from someone with a acute onset condition like acquired brain injury or stroke, or to those with more progressive conditions like Parkinson's, MS. I myself live with a condition called functional neurological disorder, which is known as FND, and it would be a condition that would benefit from multidisciplinary treatment, which would be available at these community neurorehabilitation teams.
There is a difference in access dependent on where you're living, and unfortunately we find ourselves again here in the Northwest where the cover and the services aren't equal to where they are in other parts of the country.
That's exactly it, Greg. So I live in North Leitrim, Greg, and unfortunately I can't access the small community neurorehabilitation team that's based in Ballybuffet in Donegal, and we know there's even long waiting lists for people in Donegal to access that team. So that team would have been set up 10 odd years ago. And the truth is, outside of the Donegal area, very few people in the Northwest would be aware of that team. It's a very small team of 4 healthcare professionals, where the recommended size of the team is 12 healthcare professionals. So it means that even those that maybe just, we'll say, on the Leitrim side, the Donegal border, who I know of people who may have their GP in Bundorden unfortunately can't access the team in Ballybuffet, even though they're only a half an hour away.
And that's because
And
of
this
capacity,
means-
Eamon, is it? Yes, it's because it's not.
That's
Okay.
exactly the issue.
Right.
That's exactly the issue. There just is not capacity, and that's what we've been campaigning on through the Neurological Alliance of Ireland at the event in Leinster House last week, is to get funding to expand that team to the 12-person team.
Because in terms of a commitment by government to deliver and fully fund community neurological rehabilitation teams across the country, that commitment's already been made 5 or 6 years ago. So really, it's a case of following through on that commitment, delivering on that promise.
That's it, Greg. It's very frustrating. The Neurological Alliance have been campaigning on this, and a lot of patient advocates in different corners of the country. The frustrating thing with the expansion of the team in Donegal is that it was due to be in the HSE estimates last year and unfortunately never proceeded, and it's not in the HSE estimates for this year. So what you have, as you mentioned there earlier, you've got a postcode lottery. We've got some parts of the country who have access to these teams. There's 4 new teams coming on board. Now, one of them will be in the west in Galway, but for those in the northwest to travel to Galway to access a team, and again, the demand in, we'll say, Galway, Roscommon, Mayo will be exceptional once this team is in place there. It means that those in Donegal that are on waiting lists, and then those in Sligo, Leitrim who can't get access to the Donegal team, have no access to community neurorehabilitation for the foreseeable future.
Now, unfortunately, through acquired brain injury or through stroke, there is a constant a constant need, right, which is growing all of the time. And then people in your situation, Eamon, whereby it's sort of you're seeking ongoing rehabilitation for an existing condition. How do we know how those demands are being? Do we know how those demands are being met? In other words, with the resources that are there, do newly acquired brain injury, for example, patients, are they prioritised? People with a stroke, whereby in the early stages of their recovery, I presume rehabilitation is key there, versus someone like yourself with a functioning situation. I mean, how do you curate or how do you work out that kind of a waiting list? I would, with an under-strength team.
It's very challenging, and I suppose that's how important the community neuro rehab teams will be fully expanded. Is because the reality at the moment is, Greg, is that you have no acute neurorehabilitation in the northwest in inpatient services. So those with acquired brain injury would get treatment in the National Rehabilitation Hospital. But the reality is someone like myself with functional neurological disorder or someone with Parkinson's wouldn't get access to the National Rehabilitation Hospital because it's not an acute, usually onset condition. There may be some acute forms of FND, but it may be a gradual onset condition.
Understood.
And the challenge is, as you say, how you prioritise a condition over one another.
Well, you will always be back. You might feel that you may always be back of the list, no matter how long you're on that list.
There is a frustration there, Greg, but I think if we can get the teams expanded to have capacity, that's which will allow the change. Because even in my own condition, FND, is that early intervention is key. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, I couldn't get the National Rehabilitation Hospital. I had to go through the Treatment Abroad scheme to get to London. So I got assessment in London, and I'm waiting for a virtual program 3 years now. Wow. In London. And that's through the NHS. So there's a number of other people in the country in similar positions that can't get access to rehabilitation here, that have to go through the Treatment Abroad, but that's a long process to get access to treatment. So by expanding these teams, it gives more capacity, but also it means that people have treatment locally, because there's a massive toll in relation to travel, cost, personal support that's needed for that, to have to travel from the northwest to Dublin, for example.
Okay, with all that in mind, as you say, the government had already committed 6 years ago to deliver 9 fully funded community neurological rehabilitation teams. As part of this campaign and the demonstrations last week, has a commitment to that been reiterated? Has any commitment been given to, reinvigor in this area? Like, what are you hearing back as part of this push?
Yeah, so we met with the Minister of Disability, Hildegard Notton, and we met with the Minister of Health as well the next day, Jennifer O'Carroll McNeil, and I suppose the feedback is that they understand how urgent these teams are required to be funded, but it's getting that approval for funding, because there's a frustration where something can be approved, and then when it goes through the process, we don't actually get action coming out the other end. So at the moment, there's 4 teams in the country due to go live in the next month. There's one existing team in Limerick being expanded, but that leaves 4 locations in the country, including the Donegal, Leitrim, Sligo area, without an expanded team or no team.
Okay, and you have to feel for the smaller team based in Donegal here. The workload must be enormous, and it must be very frustrating as caregivers and with an interest in making people better, improving their lives, to not have the team around you to deliver as you would want to. I'd imagine it makes for a frustrating, if that's the right word, working environment. Eamon, listen, thanks for making us aware. I do appreciate it. Sadly, unfortunately, it is another situation where we seem to be disadvantaged purely because of our rare code. But who is to say that maybe it might be addressed? We hope so. Eamon, thanks for your time.
Thanks, Greg.
Eamon McPartland there, patient advocate and the neurological and a member of the Neurological Alliance of Ireland board. We do appreciate his time. Greg, can you find out what kind of a mess is the council making of the Mill Bridge in Buncrana? I haven't seen it. Maybe it's not a mess. Maybe it's ongoing works. You can't make an omelette without cracking eggs. Maybe someone locally can tell us what's going on there and what the situation is. Hi Greg, the government advertised the humanitarian assistance scheme during the last storm. The first stage of the scheme was a non-means tested payment to cover the cost of meals, clothing, gas stoves, etc. Applications were to be submitted to your local community welfare office. 6 weeks have passed since the storm and yet many payments have still not been issued in Donegal. Why have payments not been issued? Applicants in some cases have not even had a reply to the Department of Social Protection who processed the scheme. We've asked the department for an update. The lady also that joined us in relation to that was very much across that situation as well. We might retouch base with her to see if there's any update locally in that regard. And just one quick announcement before the break and the weather. Buncrana Community First Responders, their first AGM is taking place on the 13th of March, which is in 2 days' time. It's at 8:30 p.m. at the Castleknock Resource Centre. That's the training base, as you might be aware. Everyone is more than welcome to attend and find out statistics and what all they've done in their first successful year in operation. Buncrana Community First Responders Group, send that info on to us as well, please. I'd be very interested in that, if you don't mind. I'm sure if you're making it public at that AGM, you won't mind passing on either to me on my socials or send it in to us, just to recognise what you're doing in that short space of time. Okay, as I say, the weather just around the corner.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union. Simplify your debts with a debt consolidation loan from Letterkenny Credit Union. Call us on 074 910 2126 or apply online via our app or in office today. Get ready for the show of a lifetime. Adrian Knight, one of Ireland's top comedy hypnotists, is coming to the Villa Rose Hotel Ballybuffet on March 28th. With over 15 years of experience, Adrian brings non-stop laughter with fast-paced humour and audience participation. Tickets only €25. Book online at villarose.ie.
Building, renovating or upgrading your home? The Inishowen Co-op Home Build event is back on March 22nd with a new edition for 2025, the Energy Efficiency Hub. Meet over 50 exhibitors showcasing the latest in retrofitting, solar panels, construction, windows, doors, paints, flooring and more. Join us Saturday, March 22nd at the Inishowen Gateway Hotel, Buncrana from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. for expert talks, virtual reality home design and photo with the Dulux dog. Check out Facebook for details. See you there.
Say hello to the new Seat Leon. I could tell you that our iconic hatchback has never looked sportier thanks to its bold exterior and full LED headlights. Or I could wow you with its advanced technology like adaptive cruise control, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. But what I really want to talk about is its power. Choose from petrol, diesel or the next generation of plug-in hybrid, offering over 100 kilometres of electric-only driving range, giving you the best of both worlds. The new Seat Leon. Visit seat.ie for our latest offers.
Your local Seat dealer is DMG Motors, Clar Road, Donegal Town. Telephone 074 9721 396.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Discover trending new styles each week in fashion, footwear, accessories, homeware and more. Visit us to explore the latest arrivals in store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
Dry for much of today, but noticeably cooler than of late, with brighter sunny spells and just isolated showers. These mainly the further north you go along the north coast. Later this afternoon, those showers will develop more widely, spreading in from the north coast and southerly from there. Highest temperature 6 to 8 degrees. Light to moderate north and northwest winds will increase, fresh at times near windward coasts. They come up with new phrases all the time, don't they? What's the story tonight? Showers will gradually clear overnight, leaving clear spells. Temperatures 0 to 4 degrees with light to moderate northerly or variable breezes inland, but winds will continue fresh to strong near the north coast. We really need a good summer this year, because if we don't get a good summer this year, you're going to have to start sort of saying, well, is the climate changed? If you know what I mean. You know, you have consecutive bad summers. At some point, there's a pattern there that is the norm rather than something else. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just praying for a good summer. Right, okay. Just listening to the roads debate. The statement made that the Garda are the only people to police the roads and junctions. If a junction doesn't have sufficient road signs, and if there are continuing problems regarding incidents on any road, then this shouldn't be recognised as a roads policing issue only. I was wondering what maybe guards listening might think of that. You know, you also have to have the right infrastructure into police, don't you? Hi, Greg. On the issue of crossings, there is a crossing on the main Buncrana to Cockhill Road at Westbrook Bridge, which is dangerous. It's effectively a speed bump with zebra markings on the top. Approaching the crossing, sides of the crossing are marked as a speed bump. It's only when you get very close that you can see the zebra markings on top. There are tiny signposts either side of it, but the symbols are so small you can only make them out when you're beside them. This crossing needs flashing orange lights either side so it can be clearly identified as a crossing. If you're walking past that, would you take a couple of pictures and fire them on to us too? Because as they say, a picture paints 1,000 words. So I'd be very interested to see that. It doesn't make sense. It seems like I can see exactly what you're talking about, that you need to be close before you see the crossing on the top. And what is the status of that? Is it a pedestrian crossing where the pedestrian has the right of way? I'd love more information, please. Highland Radio, hello. Drive over the Mott Road in Stranola from the Finn Valley Centre and see what your car will tell you then. At the top of the recycling road on the left, the car states 5k, not 50k or 30k. All right, okay, that's in relation to the automatic sort of indication of speed. Good morning. Is the council going to update stop yield signs on back roads? It's dangerous because people are confused about right of way on smaller roads. Again, I'm trying to think if I got an experience of that. It's an interesting one. Again, we need signage, don't we? We need to have the best chance of staying safe. St. Mary's in Stranola, cars parked on curbs out on the main road, both sides of the road, right up to the traffic lights every single day, says a caller. It shouldn't be. Are there alternatives? Can a traffic management plan be put in place? I don't know. I refer to your press query, road safety convoy, and outline hereunder the council's response to same, and it is getting shorter. The correspondence admitted on behalf of one of your listeners has been received directly, and the council will respond directly on the sender. I hope we're not falling out with the council, because are we falling out with them? The press department are getting very truncated in their responses. We appreciate it nonetheless. I want to go give them a big hug. We'll be okay, won't we? Hope it's not over of coverage of the fire service story. We'll try and get an update by way of a meeting between fire service personnel in Letterkenny and local authority members last night. It wasn't allowed to happen in the fire station. They actually had it outside, but we heard yesterday late in the show a very pointed press release from the council stating that they weren't happy with some of the claims being made by fire staff, and they'd be speaking to them over the next couple of days. Be very interested to hear the nature of those conversations as well. Good morning, Greg. There is a rehabilitation department based in St. Connell's for people who had a stroke and other type of physical therapy being offered. I was mindful of that in that conversation. I'm not sure what the crossover is, but you know what? Just to make sure that anything we're putting out there is fully accurate, we'll dig a little bit deeper into that just to find out what services are offered in Ballybofey versus what, as you mentioned, there is in St. Connell's, because there's great staff doing really hard work, and I certainly wouldn't want to dilute that in any way, shape or form. Regarding the Mill River in Buncrana, the bridge, the council is making a new footpath for pedestrians and wheelchair users. It'll be made one way as well. Okay, so that's good, isn't it? Because that's been coming up for years. We covered that a few years ago, and we had the video footage and all that kind of stuff. So that's fantastic. Great. When there is progress and positive news, get it into us. We want to platform that too. Okay, we're going to take a break. The news and obituary notices are on the way, of course. Coming up after that, we'll have Community Garda information. I believe it's Garda Grania in studio with us today. That and so much besides. Don't go anywhere, and thanks for tuning in.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Digital loans now available. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
Want to keep your brain and eyes at their best? Try Remind, the super strength omega-3 supplement backed by Irish science. Remind's unique formula with carotenoids and 900 milligrams of omega-3s delivers essential nutrients for brain and vision health. And to see how your nutrient levels measure up, try the Life Meter scan. Available this April at Healthwise pharmacies. In just 1 minute, a quick fingertip scan provides valuable health insights. Book your free Life Meter test and support your brain and eyes with Remind.
Hi, Paddy here at Shane Conley Cars in Donegal Town. Are you looking to upgrade your car? With Shane Conley Cars, you'll find makes and models for every budget. Great finance options, and we also accept trade-ins. Check out shaneconleycars.com or call in to us at Shane Conley Cars from Lonaher Road, Donegal Town.
Letterkenny Show Society annual Pedigree Bull Sale will be held in Reformart on Tuesday 11th of March at 6:30pm. With 57 Pedigree Bulls on offer, consisting of 38 Charolais, 8 Limousin, 9 Angus and 2 Hereford. All stock are eligible for export to Northern Ireland. Online bidding available at martbids.ie. That's this Tuesday at Reformart.
Highland Radio's 35th birthday charity day. Donegal Cancer Flights and Services provide vital transport services for cancer patients who need to travel for life-saving treatment.
The first time I was told I had cancer, it is a scary experience. I think the word cancer frightens you. My children were small, young at that time, and I thought I wasn't ready to leave them. And yeah, it is a scary experience, just when you hear the word,
For just €10, you can support Donegal Cancer Flights and Services and other incredible causes while securing your chance to win in our big cash giveaway this Friday. Donate today and make a real difference. Visit highlandradio.com now.
On the Highland Radio app, this is Highland Radio News.
Good morning, it's 10 o'clock. Donald Kavanagh at the news desk. Donegal County Council has been presented with a proposal for a mobile hub to assist individuals navigating the Enhanced Defective Concrete Block Grant Scheme. Councillor Michael McBride, a member of the Council's Defective Block Committee, suggested the Office on Wheels concept, staffed by experts, could travel to the most severely affected townlands to accelerate the application process. He drew parallels with successful past initiatives such as mobile banks and highlighted the potential to reach vulnerable individuals who are struggling with the necessary paperwork.
Whenever you get speaking to somebody that's dealing with it all the time, they get to know every angle and every problem that people have, and it's a lot easier for them to deal with it. And the other side of the coin is as well, I'm sure these people would have to maybe go multiple times to talk to some people, and it's good if the same person's there all the time, if they can build up a relationship with them, get their confidence on them, and that they're there to help them right through the scheme. Because I think it's very important that everybody that wants to get on the scheme can get on it, and as I say, particularly people who struggle with IT and elderly people and stuff like that.
Around 1 in 20 schoolchildren are being diagnosed with autism. That's a threefold increase in under a decade, according to figures from the Department of Education. It means around 400 new special classes would be needed every year for the next 3 years to keep up with demand. Education editor with the Irish Times, Carl O'Brien, says the rise is down to greater awareness.
greater numbers of older children being diagnosed with autism. You're seeing especially girls as well. There's greater awareness that girls have autism too. Once it was considered really primarily an issue for boys. And then maybe more controversially, there is a belief, certainly among policymakers, that the fact that when you have a diagnosis, the fact that it unlocks greater supports.
A Lifford Stranorlar area councillor says a Safe Routes to School project is at the planning stage for St Bridget's National School in Convoy, after concern was expressed on Highland Radio's 9 till noon show this week about the safety of children going to and from the school. The Safe Routes to School programme began in 2020. One of the first schemes to be completed in Donegal was in Rafo. Well, on the show today, Councillor Patrick McGowan said the Rafo project has been a huge success and he wants to see that replicated in Convoy.
We had one of the first in the county down there in Rafo, and then we drive through. Rafo can see fantastic jobs, about 100 metres from either side of the school and right across. So you have new footpath layouts, park and drop off. Within our MD, Convoy is the next in our list. We're then Convoy, and then after that it's Cheshire. Like, we didn't pick these. There's a very strict criteria. So at least the St Bridget's School in Convoy is on that. Our design office in Lifford has been doing some design work.
Psychiatric nurses will begin industrial action later this month in a dispute over staffing. The Psychiatric Nurses Association says its members will commence action on Wednesday, March 26th. It says staffing has been reduced to unsustainable levels and services are being impacted as a result. A 30-year-old man has been arrested in Strabane following the seizure of approximately £6,000 worth of drugs. The arrest, made in the early hours of this morning, followed a search of a property where suspected herbal cannabis, cocaine, pregabalin and diazepam tablets were recovered. A quantity of cash and 2 mobile phones were also seized. The man remains in police custody. The PSNI is appealing to the public for any information regarding the sale and supply of drugs in the area. And the Buncrana Children's Charity has announced an expansion of its services across Inishowen. It provides support to families facing childhood illness, bereavement or other difficult circumstances. Chairperson Adrian McMillan outlined that support ranges from organising day trips to providing essential financial aid. The charity is now accepting nominations of families in need. Mr McMillan says the financial burden that illness places on families is often overlooked.
The strain is horrific for families, especially where we live. We're in rural Ireland, so to travel from like Inishowen to Dublin and Galway to receive the treatment is a long journey, and with the cost of living crisis and the costs in Dublin for overnight stays and stuff like that there, it's horrendous for families.
Looking at the weather forecast now, and Met Éireann tell us it'll be dry for much of today, but noticeably cooler. Brighter sunny spells with isolated showers at first, mainly near the north coast. Later this afternoon, showers will develop more widely near the north coast. Top temperatures today 6 to 8 degrees Celsius. And that's Highland Radio News. We're back with headlines again at 11 o'clock. Check all of today's news on our website, highlandradio.com. But for now, from the news team, good morning.
Obituary notices this Tuesday morning, March 11th. The death has occurred of Antonia Craig, Derry Volgie Avenue, Belfast. Service in Fisherwick Presbyterian Church, Belfast on Friday at 10 a.m. Committal afterwards to Ray Presbyterian Churchyard, Manor Cunningham, Donegal for 2:30. Family flowers only, please. Donations may be sent if desired to NI Hospice, care of S. Clark and Son Funeral Directors, Newton Ards. The death has occurred of Frankie McDermott at 49 Spruce Meadow, Kilmore, Derry, and formerly of Bohillion Burt. Funeral arrangements will be confirmed later. The death has occurred of Mary Bradley, Nee McGettigan, Glenealy Crossroads, Kellygordon, reposing at the family home today from 4 p.m. until 8 o'clock. Funeral from there tomorrow morning at 10:30 for Requiem Mass at 11 a.m. in St Patrick's Church, Crossroads, Kellygordon. Interment afterwards in the adjoining churchyard. Family time please on the morning of the funeral. The death has taken place of Phil Duffy, Mina Creve Anagree. His remains are reposing at his home today from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Rosary at 8 o'clock. House private after Rosary and on the morning of the funeral. Funeral Mass will take place tomorrow at 11 a.m. in St Mary Star of the Sea Church, Anagree, with interment afterwards in the new graveyard. Family flowers only, please. Donations in lieu to the Filcara Community Hospital, care of any family member. Funeral Mass can be viewed live on Kieran Rorty Funeral Director's Facebook page and on the parish webcam. The death has taken place of Bridie Oni McClafferty, ní Gallagher of Fanmore Falcara. Her remains are reposing at her home in Fanmore. Funeral Mass in St Finian's Church Falcara tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Burial afterwards in the adjoining cemetery. Mass can be viewed live on mcn.live. Family flowers only please. Donations in lieu if desired to the Alzheimer's Society, care of any family member or James Harkin Funeral Director. The death has taken place of Eileen O'Gorman, Golan Milford, Donegal. There's no wake at the request of the deceased. Requiem Mass this morning at 11 o'clock at St Bridget's Church, Golan, followed by interment in Milford Cemetery, house strictly private. For family information and more details regarding wakes and funerals, please go to highlandradio.com.
This is Cheltenham with Live Score Bet. Total adrenaline, you can feel it in the roar. Total heart, it's where champions are made. Total thrill, the winner's enclosure calls. Total triumph, history written. Experience the total excitement of the Cheltenham Festival with Live Score Bet. Total betting. T's and C's apply. Bet responsibly. 18 plus. Gamblingcare.ie.
Okay, we're into the second hour of the 9 till noon show. I'm going to give you a quick mention, if you don't mind, because it's so important to all of us here, of our bumper cash giveaway on Friday. We are giving you the chance to win €9,000. We're selling tickets for €10, and on Friday from 11 a.m. right up until 8 p.m, €1,000 is going to be given away every hour. Now, you can buy tickets on Friday as well, right? So say after 3 draws, you could buy a ticket for tenner and still have 6 chances to win. But if you buy your ticket today, you get 9 chances to win. And I only want you to do it, of course, if you can afford to do so. And you can also afford to support charity, because that's what this is all about. One €10 ticket, as I say, enters you into 9 draws for €1,000 on Friday. It's part of our 35th year birthday celebrations, our charity drive, and we'd love to be able to cut 3 checks for 3 great charities on behalf of all of us, and the bigger the better. Our charities are the Huey's Corner, which provide a service that wasn't there beforehand to, amongst other things, say, for instance, support younger people who've, say, for instance, lost a sibling or a parent and they're struggling with their loss. It helps them in great ways with great success. They're completely reliant on public on your public generosity. Of course, Donegal Cancer Flights and Services, that is a fantastic charity. That's one of those charities that unless you need it, you probably don't know exactly what to do and how they do it, but they do an invaluable service in helping people of all different ages and abilities to get to their cancer services. Like the conversation we had in the last hour, we have to travel further for treatment. That is a sad reality. But Donegal Cancer Flights and Services help people when they need it most. And the Blue Stack Special Needs Foundation helps to maximise the potential of every individual that goes through their doors, and helps them, as I say, develop socially and whatever they need. It's not just about that, but also to give them job opportunities and all that type of stuff. And this is all for a tenner. We're asking you for €10 or whatever you can afford. Buy a ticket for our big cash giveaway this Friday. The tickets are available on our website, highlandradio.com right now. It's fully safe and secure, no problem. But if you want to give us a call, we can process your tickets to 07491 25000, or indeed, if it's just cash you deal in, call up to us here at the Mountaintop in Letterkenny. And the more money we raise, the more money we can donate to these fantastic charities. If you get your ticket today, it's done and dusted. As I said earlier on, you'll probably have spent 25 quid in coffee by the time Friday rolls around, but you'll have 9 chances to win €1,000. So on our website, highlandradio.com, enter the cash draw there, or give us a call on 07491 25000. 9 of you are going to be a grand better off heading into St. Patrick's weekend. How does that sound? But how better off will these 3 charities be? There are families and our friends that run these. They're volunteers. Huey's Corner was a mum and dad who suffered their own personal tragedy. They saw the impact it had on those around them and said, hold on, there's a gap here. We need to provide help and support. And they do. Hundreds of people avail of the Blue Stack Special Needs Foundation. Hundreds more from the Donegal Cancer Flights. As I say, these are our neighbours, our friends, our family members that are there for us. And just for this Friday, we need to be there for them. So if you can afford a tenner, please And you could win 1,000. That's the great thing. You could win 2,000 if you're extra lucky. Who's to say? Website, highlandradio.com, safe and secure there, or give us a call at 0749125,000. Please, I'm rattling the begging bowl. I was shy about it in the first hour. Stuff it. It's been rattled. We love your support on the show. You're really, really good to us. I would just ask you this time to be really, really good by donating. You're actually just buying a ticket for a draw, but you're also donating. Okay, so please, if you can, thank you so much indeed. I really do appreciate it. We'd love a big jump in this hour to help those charities. Right, Greg, you do know why it's called chat box. It's because you're chatting in a box with yourself. Drives me insane. Thanks, Oshin. Yeah, indeed. Chat bot, I think it's called. But anyway, it could be chat box. I'm just waiting for this AI bubble to burst. And I'm not a Neanderthal, by the way. Like, I participate. I'm one of these idiots that participates in the public experimental side of things. So, say for instance, Google's Gemini, I'd be in the public beta of that. So if there's new features coming out, I get to use them, or I may be selected to use them first. The same with ChatGPT and all that type of stuff. So I'm very, very interested in it. I know it's very good for business. Or is it as good as the businesses think in terms of its front facing to their customers? We shall see. I'm watching with interest. I'm loving being alive to watch how this develops and see where it goes. Caller says this government has nothing but contempt for this country. Now they're in power. They're going to reintroduce water charges. This country didn't stand for it the last time, and they will not stand for it this time. Or will they? It's being framed as not a money-making exercise. It's being framed as a punishment for excessive use. There'll be very generous allowances. That's how it's beginning in any case. Are you sure that you don't think that's a good idea? Greg, every couple of months, Highland Radio News reports on unannounced inspections of nursing homes. Is there ever such an inspection of the local general hospital? I was an ED with a cancer patient, and as an observer, all I can say is that there is no structure to dealing with patients. I arrived there at 3 p.m. There was a man there since 8 a.m, and he said he wasn't even asked his name. There should be a liaison nurse tasked to keep track of how many patients are being dealt with, and if there's a delay, to explain it. Nobody speaks to you until you're seen by the doctor. Remember, it is good to talk. There are, maybe not necessarily in that area, some are announced and some are unannounced. But similar to what you've quite rightly pointed out, it does happen at the hospital there. Right. Okay. We were talking about public health. We were talking about the situation with public health nurses in Letterkenny, and I promised to get you an update in relation to that. And it was off the back of this inquiry. Hi, Greg recently got a letter to say there are no longer public health nurse services in Letterkenny for children in relation to the development checks at 12 months. Has anyone else been notified of this? So we got onto the HSE because I think it's really important to get clarification, because it could be one person's experience, right? And the HSE got back in touch with us, and their response reads as follows. Parents in the Letterkenny town area received a letter on the 25th of February from the Public Health Nursing Service advising them that routine child health and development assessments would be temporarily disrupted due to current staff shortages. The Public Health Nurse Service continues to provide visits for all newborn babies and follow-up appointments at 3 months in the event of routine development checks. Parents have been advised that if they have concerns for their child's development, they can contact the PHN office directly for further support, which is not within the skill set necessarily of everyone, but okay. The HSE confirms that approval has been granted to recruit 3 vacant community registered general nurses and 2 public health nurses, which, when recruited, will ensure routine development checks will recommence. The recruitment of the posts has commenced and remains a priority for the HSE. The HSE apologises for any inconvenience caused. So, when did these positions become available? Why weren't they filled up until now? It's good that they're being recruited for now, but why would you need approval to replace 3 public health nurse positions that were already there? So you were right, listener, and I never doubted you. But the checks are there at birth and 3 months. But at 12 months, there's no development check. But if you have your concerns, which I thought the whole idea of house visits is, or visits to the office, they can spot things that maybe you can't. But if you do have concerns, you can contact the PHN. It's not down to the staff that are there at the moment. Clearly, maybe this was a recruitment embargo issue. But anyway, approval has been granted for the recruitment of 3 vacant community registered general nurses. So there you go. Clarity on that situation. I hope that is useful. Okay, it is the 9 till noon show here in Highland Radio. We'll be getting the very latest appeals and information from An Garda Síochána after these.
It's time for Vision Ireland Bingo on Highland Radio.
It's Tuesday the 11th of March. You're playing on the brown sheet for the daily prize of €400. The reference number is S12. It's game number 11. The numbers are 16, 65, 13, 53, 64, 38, 18, 81, 62, and finally 27. Phone your claim to 9104833 before midnight, leaving your name, contact number and the name of the shop where you purchased your book, and we'll call you back the next working day. Get all your Vision Ireland bingo information at highlandradio.com.
Imagine a wedding venue that can be hired exclusively for you and your guests. Picture stunning views overlooking one of Donegal's most scenic beaches, an authentic country manor as your accommodation, incredible glass-fronted marquee views all day, and a team of experts who want to help you plan every step of the way. Sounds too good to be true? Not at Drumhalla House in Rathmullen. It really has to be seen to be believed. Visit drumhallahouse.ie or check out Drumhalla House on Instagram for more details.
Hello, this is Robert Mazzell. Myself and the band are celebrating 25 years on the road. We're coming to the Alley Theatre on the 4th of April to celebrate our 25th anniversary. If you'd like some tickets, go to alleytheatre.com. Come and hear some of the old songs you love and some of the new ones as well. That's the alleytheatre.com. The 4th of April. We'll see you there.
The Power of Choice Spring Sales event is happening now at Kelly's Toyota, Letterkenny and Mount Charles. Test drive our wide range of hybrids, plug-in hybrids and the fully electric BZ4X, and see why Toyota is Ireland's best-selling car brand again this year. There's flexible payment options and incredible offers, including our biggest power up booster of up to €3,000, available until the 15th of March. At Kelly's Toyota, Letterkenny and Mount Charles. Toyota, built for a better world. Terms and conditions apply. Best-selling claim based on latest published monthly figures.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, with monster loans available up to €60,000 for all occasions. Visit letterkennycu.ie. The Community Garda information slot is brought to you by Sheridan Security Systems, protecting what you value most. Call today and get your zero-wire alarm system from €299. Sheridan Security, 91-26025.
All right, it's 19 minutes past 10 on this Tuesday, the 11th of March. It's Community Garda information time, and in studio with me is Garda Grania Doherty from the Letterkenny Garda station. Hi, Grania.
How are you, Greg?
Good, and it's great to see you again, and we've a lot to get through. There's no panic, but we'll get cracking. And we'll start with assistance being sought in relation to a burglary in Killybegs.
Yes, this burglary happened at a house in the area of Crooknagapple, Killybegs, between the morning of Tuesday the 4th of March and the morning of Sunday the 9th of March, so quite recently. Entry was gained after the front door was kicked in. A number of items were stolen. 2 silver rings were taken and an antique yellow gold ring with a single diamond. That's of quite sentimental value also. And a Dell Pro Support laptop. So we're anxious to speak with anybody who may have observed any suspicious activity, vehicles, people in that area between those dates. If anybody can assist with any type of relevant information, we'd like to hear from them. And they are asked to contact Ballyshannon Garda Station on 071 985 8530. And with all of our appeals today, the same goes. The Garda Confidential line can be reached on 1800 666 111.
Brilliant stuff. Okay, to have that facility. Attempted theft in Carrigan's.
Yes, this incident occurred near Calais Cottages at Altnaderry, Carrigan's, on Friday the 7th of March, shortly after 11:10 at night. So an attempt was made by 2 men. There was a trailer parked up there. It had a ride-on mower on the back, so these men attempted to steal the trailer and the ride-on mower. They were interrupted. They fled the scene immediately. They were travelling in a wine-coloured Suzuki, a Grand Vitara Jeep. So we're appealing particularly to road users who have a dash cam who might have been in that area between 10:30pm and 11:30pm to make that footage available to us. Of course, if anybody else observed this wine-coloured Suzuki Grand Vitara, we're asking them to contact us also. Any relevant information would be welcome. And we're asking people to contact Garda in Letterkenny on 9167100 in relation to that incident.
Yeah, good solid information there. You'd hope it would lead to something. To Dunfanaghy next, criminal damage.
Yes, this is quite an unusual one, yeah. This incident happened at the Perth Lake in Dunfanaghy between Thursday the 20th of February and Thursday the 6th of March. So this was just quite recently discovered that this had happened. A rowing boat at that location was tipped over and substantial damage to the boat was caused as a result. So again, we're appealing to anybody who may have noticed any suspicious activity or vehicles in and around the area of the lake during that time period, particularly maybe heavy machinery such as diggers. I believe it would have required a digger or some sort of heavy machinery to lift this. It's quite a heavy boat to tip it over. So if anybody noticed any vehicles like that in particular around the area of the lake, we're asking them to contact Garda in Milford on 9153060.
All right, it's interesting. It's a rowing boat, but incredibly heavy.
Incredibly heavy. So heavy machinery would have been required really to lift this boat, and a lot of damage was caused to it.
Unbelievable stuff.
Yeah.
And you'd question the motivation there. Okay. Yeah. Criminal damage this time in Ballybuffet, Grania.
Yeah, very recent incident actually here. So this incident happened at Chestnut Road in Ballybuffet between Sunday the 9th of March at 11:30 p.m. and 8 a.m. on Monday the 10th. So a hot food truck is parked at that location. It was damaged between those times. The owner arrived back to the truck on the Monday morning. The door was laying wide open. The locks had been damaged and the door broken open. It wouldn't appear that entry was gained to the truck because nothing was stolen from it. So we're appealing to anybody who might have noticed any activity in that area of Chestnut Road or in and around. The locals in that area would be familiar anyway with the location of that truck. If anybody's seen anybody in and around the truck between those times, make contact with Garda in Letterkenny on 9167100.
Yeah, they're all pointless, but that's someone's livelihood there. So if you're in and about the area, support them. They'll need it around about now. Right, now, criminal damage in the Goat Hawk area.
Yeah, we had quite a similar incident on last week, and this seems to be, when I check Pulse every week, this seems to be ongoing, and usually it's around Halloween time you would see this kind of carry on going on, but over recent weeks we are seeing this in certain different areas of Donegal. It's so pointless. It's pointless behaviour, but unfortunately it can be very, very frightening to the homeowner. So this criminal damage incident happened at Ardsbeg in Garda Hark on Saturday the 8th of March, shortly before 10:30 p.m. So the resident on the property actually heard banging on the roof and at the windows, and that's a frightening experience, particularly if you're someone who's home alone. So eggs, it transpired it was eggs. Eggs had been thrown at the roof and the windows of the house. Now there is CCTV there available to us, and we can see that 3 boys aged in and around their early teens, approximately 14 years of age, were there at this carry-on at that property. So we're asking anybody who may have seen these youths on foot in the area to contact Garda in Milford on 9153060. Again, if anybody travelled in that area with a dash cam, that would be invaluable to us.
I mean, they're in the Ardsbeg area, Goat Hawk, that's where it happened. They don't sound like they have access to a vehicle. No. They're out and about quite late at night, and they're able to source eggs, right? So is that in a fridge? Is that in a shop? I mean, there is. I'm curious now if there's some sort of a TikTok trend that's ongoing or something. That my brain would make me start digging into that a little bit later on. But as you say, these instances sadly happen often around Halloween. To have a couple of them around about now does seem peculiar, doesn't it, Grania?
It does seem to be happening quite regularly recently in various areas across the county. And again, just maybe parents, and I don't like finger pointing at parents, I'm a parent myself.
But we are ultimately responsible for our younger people.
We are. I know we're not the egg throwers, but at the same time, I mean, I would ask all parents just to even look, something as simple as these children that are involved or youths that are involved in this type of activity. Last week, I think it might have been flour and eggs mixed combined. These children, some of them have to be coming home with food stuff on them, on their trousers or splatters of something on their clothes. They're not putting their own clothes through the wash, I would imagine. So somebody, even you notice something like that on your youth's clothes, just chat to them and explain to them the worry caused. It's particularly to vulnerable or elderly people living alone.
You would feel targeted. If that happened to my property, I'd be wondering, why me?
Of course.
You know what I mean? It's your natural thing. And I'm not in any way diminishing that appeal, because it's incredibly important. But it wouldn't be in America, because a dozen eggs over there at the moment are $13 for a dozen eggs. Can you believe that? It's absolutely shocking stuff because of bird flu and what have you. Right, okay, now back to the roads and a road traffic collision being investigated in the Falcarra area.
Yeah, this collision occurred yesterday actually. So it occurred on the R251 at Derry Lahan on Monday the 10th of March, shortly after 5 p.m. This collision occurred between Glenveigh National Park and the junction for the Falcarra Road, just to narrow it down for people. It involved 2 vehicles. One driver had been travelling in a blue Kia with a possible partial registration of 202. This driver did not remain at the scene. They travelled onwards in the direction of Dunlewy. The driver of the second vehicle, they were taken to Letterkenny University Hospital to receive medical treatment for non-life-threatening injuries. So we're appealing to anybody who may have travelled along that stretch of road, of course, as always with a dash cam, invaluable to us, if they could make that footage available to us. If anybody witnessed this collision, or if they came across this blue Kia, on that route.
Potentially a 202 blue Kia with body damage, it's going to stand out like a sore thumb, isn't it?
You would imagine so. Yeah.
The person probably needs to come forward, because I think you're going to get good information in relation to that, Grania.
Yeah, of course. And look, at CCTV all around the area is going to be checked. So we, of course, we appeal to the driver particularly to come forward, to do the right thing and come forward. Yeah. So anybody with any information can contact Garda in Milford on 9153060.
Speedy recovery to the individual involved there. Kilmacrennan now. This is going back to last month, a road traffic collision.
It is, yeah. This is going back to the 17th of February, actually, Monday. And it happened at Chapel View in Kilmacrennan between 8:30pm and 9pm. A parked Jeep in that area had been struck by another vehicle and damage was caused. Again, in this situation, the driver left the area following the collision, so no details were obtained. Just we're appealing to anybody who may have witnessed that collision to make contact with Garda in Milford on 9153060, and again, dash cam footage, if anybody has that, we're seeking it also.
I'm not sure if it's impractical for the people to produce these notes to a standard whereby they can fool us, but I don't seem to hear as much about dud notes as we did in the past. A lot of us using just tapping and what have you. But there was enough going about Grania for Garda and Donegal to issue an appeal, so we're reiterating that now.
Yeah, so I think what happened was these notes were discovered mainly along the Donegal-Derry border is where they were surfacing. But of course, look, these notes can surface anywhere. So we issued an appeal on the Facebook page. We want to make business owners in particular aware of this. We don't want anybody falling victim to this. There are fake £20 sterling notes circulating. The notes are of excellent quality, I believe, and the serial number on them ends in 257. Now, of course, I wouldn't just go by that when you're checking notes.
But
also,
it's one indicator.
But that is the notes that we've come across at present are ending in 257, their serial number. Business owners, we're just asking them to be aware, for them to check that their staff are aware also, and just to ensure really that the staff are in the habit of checking all notes, regardless of what currency they're. Check them all thoroughly at all points of payment.
Right, of course, and it's really important you give your staff the best chance, especially coming into the summer with occasional staff or younger staff, that they're fully briefed on all of this. Do we have an update on some recent drug seizures next? Is that correct? Or because I have that listed, but
further down,
all right, then we'll go on to the row later then.
Yeah, the row later. Yeah, we had this up on the Facebook page too. Actually,
sorry. Any fresh news?
So, well, do you know what? We're actually anxious.
A review of your Facebook page.
We're anxious. We're anxious to get this up because
Caroline, can you get someone in here that gives us exclusives?
Well, do you know what? This in particular, I'm anxious to get this back to the owner.
Because it's going to be invaluable to them.
It is.
Yeah.
It's a walker. You know, it's one of the push-along walkers with a seat.
Yeah.
You can fold it out and it becomes a seat.
I saw this post and I thought, someone knows that they don't have this anymore. Whether it was taken from outside a shop or a car as a prank or something, but we need that someone knows this is missing.
Of course, yeah. So we're looking, and it was found near Angrain and Theatre there on the Port Road. It's in storage at the station in Letterkenny. We have a picture up on the Facebook page. And we're just asking anybody who wants to inquire about it to contact Letterkenny Station. They can ring in on 9167100.
Like, I know there's someone listening today that either is that person or knows a person that come back or said to them, I've lost my rollator.
Exactly.
So we should be able to make the connection.
And not everybody's on social media, so I was conscious of that too. And in case it's an older person or somebody that's not on social media, I just wanted to make them aware that we have it yet. Right.
Now, this kind of crept up, but it was been running in the background for quite some time, and this is changes to how you acquire insurance or what's needed to acquire insurance. So from now on, very shortly, you will need a driver number to renew or take out insurance.
Yeah, so this is following a recent change in legislation. So from the 31st of March, anybody wishing to buy or renew their motor insurance, they have to provide their driver number to the insurance company. They have to provide it for themselves and also for any named drivers that they want to add to their policy. So after the 31st of March, it will be an offence for any insurer or broker to provide motor insurance if you don't provide they're not able to give you insurance if you don't provide your driver number. Some insurers have already begun to gather this information. So every motorist has their own unique driver number that stays with you regardless of what vehicle you're using. You'll always have the same driver number. For anybody who's not aware, if you take a wee look at your driving licence, it's under section 4D on your driving licence. It doesn't change, it'll stay with you for life, that number. So this information will be added to the Irish Motor Insurance Database. This supports us and Garda Síochána and the roads policing efforts. This database already shows what insurance policies are in place for 3 million vehicles in Ireland and who the insured drivers are. It's updated on a daily basis. So we have access to that database through our mobility devices. So we can currently detect drivers who are operating without insurance. So the addition of the driver number tied to each specific driver, that provides us with a more comprehensive insight into any offences a driver may have committed, and it makes it more difficult for drivers who are acting illegally on Irish roads. You know, it can it can stop them from evading detection.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so it will be of great benefit. This system now will be of great benefit to us. So we're asking anybody, just look, if you have any questions about this requirement, contact your insurance provider and they will provide you with further assistance.
It'll be interesting to see, and this is way above mine and your pay scale though, that if someone is banned from driving, if that will be connected to their driver number, because that could be another way to stop people from driving who shouldn't be driving.
Exactly.
And I'll tell you what it also sounds like, and I know there was some talk about this from government, is we're moving to a point whereby with the technology that's available to Gardaí and all that the physically having your tax and insurance on the window screen is becoming less and less necessary. That's again above our pay scale, but there is talk about getting shot of that as well. Before we move on to questions from last week, do we have an update on the recent drug seizures? I don't have that in my notes.
Yeah, no, it's not in my notes, but I know it was across. I think yourselves, you had it up in your own social media channels during the week. I don't see it here in my notes.
But it's always good to highlight the fact that that this stuff is happening. It can't always necessarily be broadcast at the time, and everything that's done isn't broadcast, but it is important to note when it does happen as well, when we can. Yeah, well, I do know that a search was conducted by the Donegal Divisional Drugs Unit just during the week there, and of a search of a property in Letterkenny. 2 males were arrested. Over €50,000 worth of cocaine and cannabis was seized, and those men will appear in court in a later date. Yeah. Okay. Now, questions from last week. My son has a theft conviction from when he was a foolish 18-year-old. He's now 26 years later, but he's applying for Garda vetting for a new job. I can't know the answer to this one. Some of it's crazy. What stays on your record? Do these offences still appear, or after a period of time, are they forgotten?
Yeah, so spent convictions is what we're talking about here, really. So there are some situations where certain offences can be removed from your record, or they may not have to be disclosed after a certain period of time. So under the Criminal Justice Spent Convictions and Certain Disclosures Act 2016, a range of minor offences become spent after 7 years. This means an adult convicted of an offence covered by this act, they do not have to disclose the conviction after 7 years, except in certain circumstances. The following convictions become spent after 7 years. That's if you have complied with the sentence or the order that was imposed at the time. So these are all convictions in the district court for motoring offences, except for convictions for dangerous driving. A single conviction for dangerous driving in the district court or circuit court, which resulted in a prison sentence of 12 months or less, or a fine. All convictions in the district court for minor public order offences, they become spent after 7 years.
So if I got into a row on Letterkenny Main Street 7 years ago, ended up in court and 3 months suspended sentence or whatever it might be, would that be still classed as a minor public order?
That would be classed as a minor.
Would it
public,
be okay?
Yeah.
Not obviously at the time it's not minor, but just to get an idea of what we're on about.
Yeah.
Okay, in the fourth category.
So I think this is the one that might apply to your caller's question here. So a single conviction other than a motoring or public order offence, so anything other than those two, in the district court or circuit court, it has to have resulted in a prison term of 12 months or less, or a fine. So really, the caller that asked that question would kind of need a wee bit more detail.
Understood.
You know what
do they
conviction?
purge themselves, or do you have to apply to have it? If you qualify, do you have to apply to have it classed as spent?
No, so yeah, well, you apply. You would just apply regularly under the Garda vetting system. So if you request a copy of your criminal record from us, from Garda Síochána, the record will be provided in 2 parts. So the spent convictions provided will be provided separately from any other convictions that you may have. So that still means that you'll be able to provide a clean record. So they'll be provided on separate pages, so that they'll be they'll be under the heading of spent convictions.
Okay.
So that
And the 12 months prison term, is that custodial suspended? Would it have to be a custodial sentence?
I would imagine it's a custodial sentence.
All right. Okay.
So
now there are
from
some areas that this doesn't apply to actually too, isn't there?
There are other sexual offences. And what do we see? I have it back here. Now, there's actually a lot more. I took some of the brief parts out of it, but there's a ream of information in relation to this. Yeah, so this Act doesn't apply to any conviction for a sexual offence or any offence that was tried in the Central Criminal Court. So very serious offences. These offences cannot become spent convictions, and that stands to reason, really. So if anybody wants any further information, the best site actually is citizensinformation.ie. There's a massive volume of information there in relation to spent convictions.
Okay.
If anybody wants to look that up.
And I sympathise with that parent as well, because, the man or woman that you are at 25, 26 can be very different from 18. And I also think it's important that, and this is not a Garda issue or a me issue, but I think it's always important that there's a pathway to rehabilitation and a reward for changing your life around.
Of course, yeah. And if that caller wants, they can contact me at Letterkenny Station, and I can look into the matter.
Yeah, do, because I trust Grania, and she'll look after you and advise you in the right way there. Okay, now we're heading into a bank holiday weekend, public holiday weekend, in fact. And the reason we talk about road safety in advance of these weekends is that, unfortunately, statistically, they're shown that we are more likely to be involved in collisions, serious collisions, fatal collisions, obviously. But even if you don't hear of a fatal collision over the weekend, it doesn't mean, God forbid, that someone doesn't end up with a acquired brain injury or a broken back. It doesn't talk to all of the other ramifications of a collision outside the fatal collisions. We want to avoid them all. And with that in mind, the Gardaí are out and about again for this public holiday weekend, Grania.
Yeah, and as you say, unfortunately, it does seem to be when public holidays come about, the weekends of public holidays, the rates of fatal and serious injury collisions do intend to rise. So we're conscious of that. And as always, Gardaí will be out on the roads. They'll be conducting high visibility patrols and checkpoints right across the Donegal division this upcoming bank holiday weekend, St Patrick's weekend. We're appealing to everybody, the usual road safety appeal: please drive safely. If you intend to go out socialising over the weekend, plan ahead. Book a lift home in advance, get a taxi, bring a designated driver. Do not, under any circumstances, get behind the wheel while you're under the influence of alcohol or drugs. And also, please ensure the following morning that you're in a state fit to drive. 11% of fatal drink driving collisions happen the morning after. And we don't
So that means they drove, just to be, I know it's very clear what you said, but just so people understand, this is not anecdotal, it's statistical, that of fatal road traffic collisions that happen in the morning, it is found that 11% of them are, an illegal level of alcohol is found in the driver's system. Yeah, effectively, it's not guessing game. That's a statistical fact.
Yeah, the following morning, and in fact, quite a few arrests do occur out on the roads the morning after for drink and drug driving. So just anybody that is going out, make sure that you have your wits about you the next day, that you have a good breakfast, that you wait a good number of hours and make sure that you're fit to drive. Don't take chances.
And and it's not just the driver's chance. I think too, we have to be conscious and careful as passengers, our role in all of this, overloading a vehicle or sort of putting yourself first. And if the person's had a few drinks, saying, well, at least I'll get home. All of that behaviour, we have to take a collective responsibility, I think. And I think passengers really do have an influence and a responsibility a lot of times as well. It's not always just the driver. Obviously, they're ultimately responsible, right? But we can all do our bit.
Yeah, and look, a busy weekend like that too, it could happen. It's happened to us all at some stage that you've gone out. There's maybe a shortage, not a shortage of taxis, but the taxis are busy. They're that busy that you can't get one. Ring home. I know it might be 4 a.m. and you mightn't get the best response in the world.
No, but mums and dads, before they leave, say, listen, I don't want you taking any chances. I'll have my phone on loud. If you're stuck, give me a ring.
Yeah, and they might wake up and they might be a bit grumpy with you on the phone, but they'll just want you home safely, and we would urge people to do that. Ring home and get a lift home. Don't attempt to get behind the wheel yourself.
But above all,
influence.
Don't take any risks, but if you can, have a bloody great weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Get out there.
That's what we
if
want.
you want to. Go to Ards, have a walk, go and have a pint, whatever you want to do. Have fun. The guards won't mind. They're actually decent enough if you say hello to them.
Yeah.
But don't do anything that would risk your well-being or that of the people around you. And certainly don't do anything that would risk you having a crappy conviction off the road and all the nonsense that goes with that just because of a lack of planning or a bad decision being made. But enjoy yourself and have fun.
Yeah,
but
get
just
out there and
don't
enjoy it.
break the law.
Yeah.
Grania, you're probably working after all that, are you?
I am.
Really?
Yeah.
How
And you
does
will
that
see
work?
on St. Patrick's, is it?
Yeah,
St.
but I mean,
Patrick's?
of course, it's all hands on decks for that day.
Oh,
isn't it?
yeah. Oh, no. Well, and hopefully we'll get information into about road closures for parades and things.
For
like
sure,
that.
and
Post
we'll
them
get
later
that
on
out
too.
there.
We can, and you will see Garda out in the beat over the St. Patrick's Day weekend, or over the St. Patrick's weekend also. Don't be afraid to come up to say hello to us. We like to have a chat. We're not inhuman, you know. We're there to help, but we're also there. We want people to have fun.
Someone said to me, and I thought of you instantly. Someone said to me the other day, Hudson, don't do that. I'll get the guards out to you. How does that make you feel?
And you know, we hear that.
You wonder why they grow up as angry 15-year-olds.
And you know what? You do hear that a lot. I hear that on the beat.
I know you've mentioned it before.
On the beat, you hear it steady. You can hear it. You can hear the whisperings, and she'll take you away if you don't do this, and she'll take you away if you don't do that. But that's one thing too. I would just ask parents maybe not to do that, because I'm not taking any children away.
I suppose I'm supposed to not let him on the tablet as well. Is that right?
No, but it's just too that we're in around the schools. You know, we're trying to build up a bit of a. You know, we're trying to get to know the children and build a bit of a rapport with them and have them trust us. And
but
have
I
them
swear, after you said that previously, I did change. It did actually make me think, and it's a little thing, but it just means that the guards are framed as the big bad wolf from day dot.
Well, some children I would notice when I'm out in the beat, sometimes they would see me coming. Maybe I hope it's not just me. I hope it's all guards. But they see you coming and they grab mommy or daddy's leg and they're looking out from behind the leg because obviously they've been told you're going to be taken away by her, you know, and that's not what we want.
And you know, actually, in a funny way, Gran, you never know the circumstances. You would actually want them running towards you, maybe. You never know. You know what I mean? I could probably imagine some scenarios, but you would want them to sort of think, right, that person potentially is a safe space. Okay.
Yeah, well, that's the point of the schools programme too. We want them to know that we're there to help. We want them to feel they can come to us for help, you know. And look, it's not the fault the parents say. There's a habit. It's a force of habit. People have a habit of saying these things to children.
Of course they do.
But listen, we want everybody to have a safe and a happy St. Patrick's weekend. Regardless whether you're on the road, you're off the roads, we do want everybody to enjoy it. We'll be available 24/7, all of the district headquarters. And you can reach us there, or if you see a guard in the beat, come over, ask us if you need our assistance. We'll be happy to help.
Okay, thanks so very much indeed. That was Garda Grania Doherty from Letterkenny Garda Station, and we'll be back with that item on the show after the 10 o'clock news next Tuesday.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union, now offering mortgages from €40,000 to €600,000 with no hidden fees or transaction charges. Letterkenny Credit Union, 9102127.
For strong, unique, weather-resistant homes, choose Cedral Exteriors. Our fibre cement roof slates and wall cladding ranges are built to last for generations, exceeding EU quality standards. Members of Guaranteed Irish, our products are locally made and beautifully designed, offering long-term peace of mind. Visit cedral.ie. Cedral Exteriors. Strength guaranteed.
Attention all commercial business owners. Are you looking to cut energy costs? Join Efficient Renewables for a commercial solar and heat pump information evening on Tuesday 25th of March at 7:30 p.m. in Main Street, Newton Cunningham. Learn about the NC7 process, MIC upgrade process, available grants, tax relief, system sizes and energy savings. Everything you need to reduce your business's energy bills. Find out more and ask the experts in our office and showroom on Tuesday 25th of March at 7:30 p.m. We look forward to seeing you there.
Luxury is not merely seen or heard or even touched. True luxury is experienced. It lies in the minute details that elevate the ordinary into the extraordinary. It's quiet spoken, but leaves a lasting impression. You know it when you feel it. Luxury begins with L. Lexus. Experience amazing. Discover the all-electrified range at Lexus Letterkenny.
Join us for the celebration of the year. Highland Radio is turning 35 and we're marking the occasion with an unforgettable birthday bash concert at the Mount Errigal Hotel. It's on Monday the 31st of March and it features the very best of country music with Dominic Kerwin, Jimmy Buckley, Michael English, Patrick Feeney, Hugo Duncan, Claudia Buckley, Connell Gallen, and myself, David James, and my brand new band. Tickets are now on sale for only €30 online at highlandradio.com from hotel reception and all usual outlets. We'll see you for the Highland Radio Birthday Bash Monday the 31st of March.
The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, offering low-rate car loans with fast approval. Apply online at letterkennycu.ie or in office today.
Get the Irish Daily Star for your daily Cheltenham pullout, plus free €3 Paddy Power Bet. We've the inside scoop from the track with Brian Flanagan, plus top tipsters to get you first past the post. All this week in your Irish Daily Star. Conditions apply. See paper for details. 18 plus. Please gamble responsibly. Gamblingcare.ie.
Thinking of changing your floors? Why not see what Florid Letterkenny has to offer? Florid have a large selection of solid, semi-solid and laminate click vinyl wood flooring, together with a fantastic choice of parquet, herringbone flooring, all at incredible value. Don't delay. Call Florid today on 087 161 7008. The Nutria's Milk Replacer range, which includes Nutri-Start and Nutri-Start Plus, offers the best start for your calves this spring season with 23% and 25% crude proteins, ideal for calf to beef and heifer rearing systems. Give your calves the best possible start. Available at your local Homeland store or online at homeland.ie. Visit nutrius.ie for full nutritional information.
Monster Bingo every Tuesday night at Mulroy Woods Hotel. €3,300 must go with €1,000 on the last page. Doors open 7:30. Bingo starts at 8:30. That's Monster Bingo this and every Tuesday night at Mulroy Woods Hotel, Milford.
Highland Radio's 35th Birthday Charity Day. Blue Stack Special Needs Foundation supports children and adults with additional needs, offering essential services, activities and respite for families across Donegal.
I'd like to thank everyone for thinking of us all. I'm very grateful, and I'd like to give gratitude to everyone for thinking of us.
I would say thanks for that, for all the work.
The big thanks to them, and they're amazing.
For just €10, you can support Blue Stack Special Needs Foundation and other incredible causes while securing your chance to win in our big cash giveaway this Friday. Donate today and make a real difference. Visit highlandradio.com now. Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Discover trending new styles each week in fashion, footwear, accessories, homeware and more. Visit us to explore the latest arrivals in store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
Now, later this afternoon, showers will develop more widely across the region, though you won't see them everywhere. They'll be here and there. Temperatures at 6 to 8 degrees. John Kilgard is a male advice line counsellor. And he joins us on the programme now. Good morning to you. Thank you for your time, John.
Good morning, Greg.
Right, now the Male Advice Line has welcomed the launch of Cuan's Hardest Stories campaign. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, well, the Coon is a statutory agency under the Department of Justice, and it's dedicated to tackling domestic, sexual and gender-based violence. And the campaign is really to let victims know how to access supports. And again, as it is telling the hardest stories, that these stories are very hard to tell, and it's the importance of telling that story and somebody's experience. And that on the Male Advice Line is what we would do to support men coming forward to tell that story and to seek support.
Domestic and sexual violence, we know, disproportionately affects women, but that doesn't mean it doesn't affect men. Do you think sometimes men don't realise that they are victims of this type of violence because they don't think it can happen to them? In other words, maybe it wouldn't be taken seriously, it wouldn't be seen as a crime, that, you know, they're overreacting. I don't know, whatever it might be, but do you believe that maybe domestic and sexual violence against men is underreported for reasons that being amongst them?
That would be true and would be our experience on the line. Of course, the effect of domestic violence and abuse on women and children is greater. But like you said there, it is the importance of being believed, and when men speak out, that their situation can change as well, or like you alluded to there, the downplaying of things where it may be that, well, it's not that bad or it isn't that effective on me. but it really is the importance of seeking change and support, and that's what we would provide on the line.
Yeah, and sort of maybe that self-blame, that isolation, that self-judgment actually compounds an already very, very difficult situation for these men.
Correct. And again, that is the importance of seeking support and sharing that what is the hardest story. And it is a very hard thing to come forward and talk about something that, again, is very, very personal to you in an intimate relationship. But when the world opens up like that, and again, that it's shared, we'd have a lot of men, even I go to a man I spoke to yesterday who was a few months after opening up, and the difference that when he had been so isolated and thought there were no options for change, that has made to his life also.
Everyone's case is different, but I would imagine that often by the time a man reaches out, they are at a very, very low ebb or very deep into the abusive situation before, they hit a rock bottom. And I hope it's not the case, but I can imagine it might be the case before they reach out. And it shouldn't be the case. And I say it to encourage men to recognise when they are victims and to reach out and to report and to contact advice lines like the male advice line. We might leave it particularly late, I wonder.
It can be in certain cases, but like that, I would say then that it never is too late either, because if you are experiencing, again, physical or emotional abuse and violence, threats, and again, be it financial, be it isolation, be it control and behaviour, it's not that it's too late, but it's the importance of then identifying what can change here, because of the effects that there can be on between physical and emotional well-being as well, are a massive impact on not only, again, it can be the man, the victim, but rather then spills into his children, possibly family, all aspects of his life.
So, I mean, can you categorise, as obvious as it may seem, what domestic, sexual and gender-based violence is as it affects men? Because it doesn't always involve a physical injury or physical abuse as such. So maybe to help that man that's listening today to recognise that they are in an abusive relationship or an abusive situation, what are we talking about?
Well, that's a good point, Greg. It is very unique to every individual. But what I would say is the importance of making the call when something isn't right. And a lot of the time, it can be that you're conditioned to live in a relationship for maybe a long time. But again, things like isolation, threatening, put-downs, be it financial control, separating people from their friends and family. And again, where it can be physical also by nature, it is sometimes that piece where we would have men that would come forward and, again, is this normal in a relationship? Am I overreacting here? It's very, very important for people to realise that when they do come forward, they will be heard, believed, trusted, all of those things, and everything that they're going to say is valid.
Okay, and if people wish to get in contact with this advice line and maybe their call would be triggered by the Hardest Stories campaign, how do they reach out?
Yes, the phone number is 1-800-816-588, and that is operational 365 days a year and for over 50 hours a week. And we also can be contacted through the website mensnetwork.ie. And I just would further add that we do have an on-the-ground support worker as well based in Donegal that would cover Donegal and the northwest. And that support worker is available for helping with advocating with different agencies, some legal assistance, court accompaniment, and that person can be accessed through calling the line as well.
And am I right in presuming, John, that sometimes calling the male advice line is not necessarily, to trigger a criminal investigation or to progress a situation, but it also just to recognise from someone outside of your circle that you are in an abusive relationship, that you are a victim, and that maybe that could be the catalyst for removing yourself from that negative situation. It doesn't necessarily mean that you have to progress it to criminal charges or what have you.
Exactly. That's very true. And it is, I suppose, as I said, that first point of saying, what is happening for me here? What am I experiencing? What is going on? What's not right? So again, we have to take it one step at a time as well, where everything will not be sorted on one call, but it is that first point then to move on and say, well, what can change here? And the importance of making that call, telling that hardest story, like the campaign says.
Thank you so much for your time. Have a good day. That's John Kilgarra there, who's a counsellor with the Male Advice Line. So just because you're a fella, and it could be male and male abuse, female and male abuse, just because you are a fella, it doesn't mean that you have to put up with it. It doesn't mean that you're less of a man. And I'm not suggesting that would be the case, but sometimes that's what people might feel. And your well-being and your happiness is as important as anyone's. So don't suffer in silence. Reach out. And I know personally from when we've done things like that, there are people that can relate very much to what we've just talked about, and it's important that we platform that too. Good morning, Greg. Donegal does have a nurse for MND from the IMNDA. She covers the northwest area. She works closely with Beaumont, GUH and LUH. Although I understand that this is only one neuro condition, this service works extremely well, and patients are well managed both locally and regionally as a result. If patients are no longer able to travel, outreach appointments are held by clinical nurse specialists when and where need arises. Thank you for that. We weren't saying that certain services weren't available, but they're not as full in this part of the world as they might be elsewhere. But I do appreciate it important we recognise where the services are working to the best of their ability.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union. Simplify your debts with a debt consolidation loan from Letterkenny Credit Union. Call us on 074 910 2126 or apply online via our app or in office today. Relay for Life Donegal is back and is now open for team registration. As a community, we relay together to celebrate cancer survivorship, remember those we've lost and fight back by raising awareness. Will you join us? Gather your friends and family and enter your team. Register today at DonegalRelayForLife.com. Together, we can make a difference.
Want to win €5,000 towards your dream Donegal wedding? The Gallant family with their 3 stunning venues is here to make your special day unforgettable. From the award-winning Villa Rose and Jackson's Hotels in Ballybuffet to the cosy charm of Anchurch Hotel in Gweedore, we've got the perfect setting for your perfect day. Visit gallantgroup.com today.
Bargain Homewares, Lower Main Street, Letterkenny. Closing down sale. Everything must go, with up to 50% off remaining stock. Don't miss out. Grab amazing deals before they're gone at Bargain Homewares, Lower Main Street, Letterkenny.
This Saturday night, the wait is over. After extensive refurbishment, Voodoo Venue Letterkenny is back. Bigger, better and ready to party. Fresh new look, same great atmosphere. Live music all weekend long. Doors open this Saturday 15th. Don't miss it. Voodoo Venue Letterkenny, where the party never stops.
Tina Turner. That is mine.
Looking for the perfect Mother's Day gift? Want to show someone that you think they're simply the best? Or do you have a proud Mary you want to spoil? West End mega hit Tina, the Tina Turner musical, is coming to Boardgash Energy Theatre, Dublin as part of its first ever Ireland tour. Join Highland Radio on Friday the 6th of June for an unforgettable trip. Set to a soundtrack of Tina's greatest hits, this inspirational and exhilarating story celebrates the life of the Queen of Rock and Roll. Trip includes luxury coach travel, overnight stay at the 4-star City North Hotel on a bed and breakfast basis, and ticket to the show. Contact us today on 9125000 or check out the outlet on highlandradio.com to book your place now.
With all the stories that matter across the Northwest, it's Greg Hughes on the 9 to Noon Show on Highland Radio.
All right, we're heading into the last hour of this Tuesday show. At 11 o'clock, though, let's get a news update. And it's good morning once again to Donna Marie Doherty.
Thanks, Greg. Good morning. Research from Ulster University has quantified the significant mental health impact of the defective concrete block crisis. A study of 393 adults living in affected homes across Ireland revealed rates of depression, anxiety, post-traumatic stress disorder, complex PTSD and suicidal ideation comparable with those found in disaster-stricken and displaced populations. A Lifford Stranorlar Area Councillor says a Safe Routes to School project is at the planning stage for St Bridget's National School and Convoy after concern was expressed on Highland Radio's 9 to Noon show this week about the safety of children going to and from the school. The Safe Routes to School programme began in 2020 and was one of the first schemes to be completed in Donegal was in Raphoe. On the show today, Councillor Patrick McGowan said the Raphoe project has been a huge success and he wants to see that replicated in Convoy. Garda are seeking information after a rowboat was damaged at Pert Lake Dunfanaghy between Thursday, February 20th and Thursday, March 6th. Garda are particularly interested in the movement of suspicious vehicles in the area, particularly diggers. And Garda are also appealing for information following an attempted theft of a trailer and ride-on mower at Calais Cottages in Altnaderry, Carrigans. The incident occurred on Friday night at around 11:10. 2 men fled the scene in a wine-coloured Suzuki Grand Vitara Jeep after being interrupted. Garda are requesting that any road users with dashcam footage who were in the area between 10:30 and 11:30 to make it available to them. Buncrana Children's Charity has announced an expansion of its services across Inishowen. It provides support to families facing childhood illness, bereavement or other difficult circumstances. Chairperson Adrian McMillan outlined that support ranges from organising day trips to providing essential financial aid. And finally, a new millionaire has been made in Donegal after a National Lottery player won the top prize of €1 million in yesterday's Daily Million draw. The quick pick ticket was purchased on the day of the draw ahead of the 2 o'clock deadline.
Whereabouts?
It's going to be announced tomorrow.
We don't know where it is?
No, in the county it'll be announced tomorrow. So the winning numbers for that are 1, 3, 7, 8, 12, 33 and the bonus number was 23.
Yes!
That's the headlines. Back at 12.
I'm not.
The new €8 meal deal from McDonald's. Get a cheeseburger or mayo chicken, fries, 4 McNuggets, and a drink for guess what? That's right, €8. It's not called the €8 meal deal for nothing. From 11 a.m, not available on delivery. Carbonated soft drink upgrade fees apply. Participating restaurants subject to availability.
Okay, no, sorry, I got the numbers wrong. It isn't me, so I am going to be here all day for the rest of my life or until such time as I get the sack, which would be great. Would I get compensation? I don't know. Anyway, we're going to be talking about another thing that's coming up towards the end of this week. We're going to be talking about another thing that's coming up as part of our 35th birthday celebrations with Sean Quinn. Sean, is he supposed to be in studio with me right now? But where is he? Okay, I find that disrespectful. And if something's lined up, I expect. Yeah, he might have been here 3 times. Caroline, stop arguing with me. We're going to have to get the speaker in here because it's very important, I think, that listeners understand the tongue pie earache I get off Caroline. So Sean will be down. I'll tell you what he's actually doing, all jokes aside. We are getting a great deal of generosity from you. And I make no apologies for mentioning this one more time today. It's our big 35th birthday charity day on Friday the 14th of March. We've got a fantastic day of programming for you. And we are going to give away €1,000 every hour from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. Tickets are just €10. Get on our website right now, highlandradio.com. Buy your ticket. It's safe and it's secure and it's easy. So €10 wins you 9 chances to win a grand on Friday. You can buy multiple tickets if you'd like because the money's going towards charity as well. We have 3 fantastic charities, namely the Blue Stack Foundation. We have Donegal Cancer Flights and Services, Huey's Corner. I'll recap just briefly what they do. Huey's Corner was established following a local family's tragic loss. They realised through this loss that there wasn't dedicated counselling support services for young people in the case of a bereavement or other very bad things can happen in young people's lives. It shouldn't happen, but unfortunately it does. Huey's Corner is now there to support people. We spoke last week to a lovely young girl who, through her own misfortune, contracted Lyme disease, was in hospital for a long period of time, took over 40 blood tests to be diagnosed. Thankfully, she's turned things around, but she had the emotional support from Huey's Corner to get her back on her feet, and now she's on a very firm pathway to success in her life. This Blue Stack Foundation needs little introduction. You know the fantastic work that they do in helping young people and young adults to maximise their potential. Donegal Cancer Flights and Services is one of those organisations that there ticks along in the background doing amazing work. You might not, and hopefully you'll never have to avail of their services, because it's when someone gets a diagnosis of cancer, they receive their treatment plan. They have to go up and down from Galway. They have to get to Dublin, but they can get a flight into Dublin, and the Donegal Cancer Flights and Services supports that. There's lots of people get these diagnoses. Maybe they're widowed. They have no one around them. Their family's in Australia, America. How are they going to face those journeys by themselves? Well, they don't have to, because Donegal Cancer Flights and Services are there to support them. And this week, we are all here to support them. Buy a ticket for our cash draw. You are getting 9 chances to win a grand on Friday. We want the phone lines to be red hot, folks. Please join us in helping us raise a ton of money for these fantastic organisations. So that's that. Don't let me distract you from that. In fact, I will allow you now to take to phone or to go on the website now whilst you're listening to us. But there's other stuff happening, and Sean Quinn joins me in studio to discuss this now. Sean, good morning to you. How are you getting on? 1 second now. Sorry, no microphone. How are you getting on?
I'm good. Yeah, it's gone a bit mad here this morning. If I'm honest, it's people are really getting behind this, which is great.
Well, it's a no-brainer, because if you have a tenner, you can buy a ticket. You can give us a ring here as well. You've got 9 chances to win a grand, but we hope to raise a ton of money as well. As I said earlier on, thanks to the generosity of our business community, we were going into this with 2+ grand, right?
Yeah.
And now people are getting on board with this. By the way, I'll just emphasise, get your ticket now, then it's sorted and you're in the 9 draws. We'll sell tickets after the first draw, the second draw, the third draw, and hopefully people are generous. But the truth is, everyone wants to be in all 9 draws. So now's the time to get the ticket, because I anticipate we will have a rush on the morning as well, and we just want to make sure everyone gets a ticket. But, I mean, we don't know how much we'll be able to give to these 3 great charities. That's exciting and terrifying at the same time.
Yeah,
but it comes down to the public.
That's a good way of putting it. And you know what? You're kind of doing us a favour by doing it now, because I think it will be mad on Friday morning. And I hope that during the day that people continue to support us, whether it's the first draw, the 5th draw, the 9th draw. Because as you well put, Greg, the 3 charities are very good charities. And we want to raise as much as we can. We haven't put a cap or a ceiling or even a hope. Just what we want to do is to ask as many people to donate what they can to support what is going to be an absolutely brilliant day on Friday.
All right. So also what we are doing is an auction, and we've got a fantastic host of prizes. We'll be asking you to bid on these prizes, and we're going to make that available for you right now. We'll also be giving it a push on Friday as part of our rejigged and exciting programming for Friday. But I'll just give you an idea of some of the prizes, some of the lots, that you can bid on. And some of these could go for a song, by the way. And it's thanks to those that have generously donated them. They'd have to take the hit. We don't want that to happen. We want lots of money. 7 nights in a luxury 4-bed villa in Spain. A voucher for 2 at Nevin Maguire's restaurant. Now, if you've ever tried to get a booking to McNean's Bistro, you will know it ain't easy, because it's so oversubscribed. It's incredibly popular. We've a great relationship with Nevin here on this show and through the station. We've got dinner for 2 there, or voucher for 2. Silver party for up to 15 children at the Century Complex. That's a fantastic one. There's always something coming up, isn't there? And do you know what a great present that might actually be for a birthday that's coming up for a sister or brother, to give them that whole experience. Because I'll tell you, it's cheaper than doing it in the house, and you don't have to clean up. A 2-night bed and breakfast stay at the Canal Court Hotel. Never heard of it.
It's in Newry.
It's in Newry. What's
Newry
it like?
town.
Lovely, I presume.
I've actually stayed in it a few times.
Okay.
And I'll tell you, they do one of the nicest breakfasts. And it's in the city. It's actually in the town. So you're for shopping wise, and you're 40 minutes from Dublin. So
Fantastic.
It's a great price.
Okay. Spa day for 4 people with afternoon tea at the Shandon Spa. I have heard about this because me and Aisling have done this. And Carolyn and the team there look after you from the minute you walk into the door till the minute you walk out. Even though it's local, you feel like you've been whisked off to the heaven, effectively, and you're treated. And do you know what's cool? The bathtub. What do you call it? Hot tub?
It's the private Bayview.
I was up
tub
there
experience.
In it. I think it was 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Do you know what I had in my right hand? Beer.
Yeah.
I sat up there.
Looking outside
out over
at
the what do you call that? The
Marble Hill
or something.
Marble Hill.
Yeah, and a cheeky 1 o'clock in the afternoon bottle of Budweiser. It was lovely. So that's that. David James concert with an overnight stay in the Sligo Park Hotel, and hopefully, I think soon he'll be announcing that he has a new band. I can't wait for that. Stay tuned. Oh no, he has. That was announced,
that's all.
wasn't it?
That's
All right,
flying.
okay.
Yeah, that's hence why he's in the Sligo Park.
I'm only joking, David. Yes, of course. And that's a fantastic night. I actually saw some social media footage, not posted by David, actually, interestingly, but posted by people that were his gig. I think it must have been in Donegal Town or Bundoran or somewhere anyway. Yeah. And there's a real buzz. So you get the full experience, an overnight stay in the Sligo Park Hotel, plus David James in concert, a fantastic prize. And also a 2-night stay at Harvey's Point. Again, we talked about the luxury and the treatment at the likes of Shandon Spa. We are blessed with facilities in this county. Yep. Harvey's Point is there as well.
An award-winning hotel in Donegal, and it's thanks to the team there, because they came on board last year and they've come back again this year. So it's a midweek stay for 2 people, and it really is a beautiful spot. Like looking at these here, Greg, like that's worth €500.
The Lakeside Restaurant as well. I'm going to take a very quick break, right? And then what we're going to do, we're going to come back and we'll put some notional prices on some of these prizes,
Good
right?
idea.
And if you are inclined, is it live on the website yet?
It's no, they actually not on the website. On our Facebook page, all the information on the auction.
So how you bid is there.
It's the information is on it, but the easiest way of bidding is to ring in here.
Ring in here,
or you can send an email to auction@highlandradio.com.
Okay. So we'll go through all of that and how you do, and I'll tell you, it would be lovely if we could get some bids on some of these prizes. As I say, we'll put an estimated price on them. It's up to you then to bid. Because of the generosity of those that have donated these, everything that you bid, the winning bid, goes to our 3 charities. Yep. So Sean's going to stay with me. I'm going to take a very quick break, and we'll run through them again, talk them up, and tell you exactly how you can bid. And I'd love to get some winning bids in today. Like, we'll talk about it properly on Friday, right?
Yeah,
but wouldn't it be great to get some of this stuff wrapped up on a Tuesday? Although we're not closing any bids, by the way, unless you come in with $5,000.
You can bid many times.
All right, back after these.
The county's #1 talk show, The 9 till Noon Show on Highland Radio. The 9 till Noon Show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union. Digital loans now available. Apply online or via our app today and get your loan transferred directly to your current account.
Ensure the safety of your team with SafeTech. We have part-funded courses in first aid, people moving and handling, confined spaces, food hygiene, quad bikes, fire warden, IPAF MUPS, electrofusion, welding and machinery cards for Ireland and UK sites. Also delivering online courses like utilities, water hygiene and construction supervisors. SafeTech can deliver group training at your business premises. To find out more, contact safetech.ie today.
It's colourless, it's odorless, it's hard to detect. So carbon monoxide deserves your respect. It can kill you stone dead in just 3 minutes flat. And if you don't believe me, ask me dear Uncle Pat. Tagging you. Kouture, foil, gas, even wood, any fuel can harm. So get yourself a carbon monoxide alarm, or you might just wake up dead.
Back to the pitch with Brian McCormick Sports. Football boots for all ages. Adidas Copa Pure Pro in real soft leather. It's a must try on. Adidas Predator Pro in soft ground. The perfect boot for extra grip on pitch. Boots for kids in Velcro or lace with all your training essentials, gum shields, shorts and compression tops. Look the part, play the part. In store and online. Click on bmcsports.ie.
I can't stop myself, Doctor. I'm just a weak man. But it feels so good, it's so easy and quick. Ever since I discovered Chadwick's online, it's been a game changer. Chadwick's do everything. I started ordering a few tools to fix a few jobs around the house, but that wasn't enough. I ordered more from Chadwick's. The jobs got bigger, the tools got stronger, my kitchen's like a workshop and I'm halfway through and not the conversion. I need help, Doctor. Because it's a 2-man job. Will you give us a hand? Shop online now at chadwicks.ie. Click, search, done.
Highland Radio Time Checks brought to you by EirGrid, the operator and developer of Ireland's electricity grid. EirGrid, powering up communities, powering up Ireland. The time is...
Okay, 11:15. We're in the company of Sean Quinn, head of sales here. And, we're dedicating a bit of our time to promote our 3 charities that are going to benefit from our 35th birthday celebrations. We've got a great open day for you on Friday. We'd love to see you up. And we're mixing up the programming a little bit. Me and Lee and Sean actually are going to be in studio from 9. And we've got the Letterkenny Ukulele Orchestra in that hour and so much more besides. We also have live performances going on throughout the course of the morning. And I have the likes of Zoe McCauley, Killian McCann, Arn, John Doherty. It's not just this show, by the way. Charles James and the Rise are going to be in studio with us. It's hard to track James down at times because he's driving tankers all over the place. So it's going to be good to have him in. I've got Hannah B. Daniel O'Donnell is going to be joining us, which is all very exciting. And that's just my show, our show. John Breslin, he kicks off without Willow in studio. They are brilliant. Shauna Scanlon's in, 2 great acts just to kick things off on the up and up. Matthew Crampsey's in, Amy Meehan's in as well, and so much more besides. That's John Breslin's show. David James, he's got John McNichol in studio, hugely popular. You might have actually seen him down in Harvey's Point. We're talking about one of those being our prizes. And Ivan Borland, he obviously his audience is a little bit younger than mine, not exclusively though. He's got the Fades in studio, which is great actually to hear a bit of live music with Ivan, and Juggernaut there as well. And throughout the day, as we've been pointing out to you, we're going to be giving €1,000 away every hour. But now our focus is on the auction. And bidding is open live right now. You can ring in and bid on any of these as we talk through them. And we're supposed to be doing this Friday, right? But I just want to run through them now to give people some advance notice. Now, we will say we have a bid in already for the 3-night stay at the Wild Atlantic Camp for up to 6 people to enjoy 3 nights in the new luxury chalet. You'll be spoilt for choice and things to do around Creaslet, Dunfanaghy. I mean, it's actually a great place. You can go anywhere. Mount Errigal. You can go out to Fanad Lighthouse.
You've
over
beaches.
to Downings. Or take your pick. Go to Murder Hole for crying out loud.
Yeah, your beaches on your doorstep within 10 minutes drive either way, whichever way you go, Greg.
Okay, so we've already got a 600 bid in on that. We'd love to see. I see now how this works. Right. Okay. So Spanish Villa. We estimate this to be about €1,000, isn't it? It's a 1-week stay in a luxury 4-bed villa, available September, December. It's in the resort of Quasanda, close to Torrevieja and Alicante Airport, okay? We estimate that would cost you about £1,000 on the open market.
If you were buying it, and I've seen it, I know it, it's absolutely...
Have you been to every one of these things?
Beautiful. Most of the things, yeah.
Really?
No, I'm joking, no.
So you've...
I'd
expect you to know about the Wild Atlantic.
This is the second year that they've been on board. So last year they sent videos, and I do know that the person that bid €1,200 last year and was successful, they loved it that much they've actually booked it privately this year to go back again.
Oh wow!
So it's a beautiful spot. It is 15 to 20 minutes away from Alicante Airport. There's loads of flights from if you go from Belfast or you go from Dublin or even Knock, you can have the option for going there.
Big thanks to the Kilmac Group. If you want to bid on that right now, you can. September, December, those are the 2 months, is it? Or between September and December?
September to December. So
September, August, September, October, November, December.
Yeah,
right, okay, so put a bid on that, 07491 25,000. Now, as I say, McNean Bistro, we've got dinner for 2 at Nevin Maguire's, plus a signed book, a hamper and a piece of cutlery. Now, as part of this prize, you'll dine at the award-winning Nevin Maguire restaurant, Black Lion. Has he changed? It's not called McNean anymore, is it?
I don't think so.
Has it changed? Okay, brilliant.
I don't think so.
You'll get a signed book, a hamper, and Nevin Maguire cutlery, which you'll see in Dunn's and other places. It's fantastic stuff. We're estimating that about £1,000 as well.
That was really
pretty
popular.
Conservative because it's hard to even get a booking here.
Yeah, that was thanks to Nevin. Now he's back on again this year, but that was really popular last year, Greg. And I'll just give people a heads up. That went for €1,500 last year and worth every single penny.
But don't be afraid to put a cheeky 800 bid in.
Yep.
You never know. Yep. Okay, so and Sean's quite right to point out what the winning bids were, but don't be afraid to be cheeky. You never know because someone might prefer the Spanish Villa and bid in that direction. Yep. So we want all bids. 07491 25,000. Now, this is something we favour is. Doing a birthday party, if it's a bigger birthday, is to do it in a venue. be it the likes of the Century Complex or wherever it might be, because you go in, set amount of time, the stuff is done for you or whatever. And it could be kids of different ages because Century Complex has so much going on there. So what is this price then?
So what they've given us is you can have the party in Century Play for up to 15 people. So you go in and you get, I think it's about an hour and 15 minutes. You can play around and jump up and down. The parents can do that as well, and the kids.
In there.
Then they go upstairs and they get a bite to eat. And they get a goodie bag, and obviously there would be a cake there as well. So alternatively, if you want to go and watch a movie, then for 15 kids, you can go in and watch a movie of their choice, which has been shown at that time. There's a platter of food, I think it's probably popcorn and a drink that's happened, and they get a goodie bag on the way out. So it's great.
We can't both bluff this. One of us is going to have to know specifically what the lots are. I mean, I can bluff it, but you can't as well. Do you get me, Sean?
I don't bluff, Greg.
So what's on the tray?
What's on the tray? It's 100% it's popcorn,
hot nuts, and all that kind
Absolutely.
of stuff. All right, brilliant stuff.
Yeah.
That's a cracking price for you to treat someone in your house. But as I said a little earlier on, bid on that for someone, maybe a sister or brother as a birthday or something coming up. That's valued at 250 quid because it's such good value.
If you're
but,
going, you'll be paying that.
Yeah,
So
but still. That's a, you know, if you hired in a bouncy castle for birthday party, I'm not trying to put those guys out of business, don't get me wrong, but it depends on your house and what space you have and all. So that's worth, we estimate, 250, and it's actually great value at that. So you can bid on that right now, 07491 25,000. We talked about the Canal Court Hotel. The Radisson Blue Hotel in Letterkenny has helped us with this one. It's a 2-night stay with breakfast. You talked about the central location of this in Newry, the proximity to Dublin, Sean. This is a cracking prize, and we are estimating the value at €500 there. As I say, that feels conservative.
Absolutely, it's good value. If you get it for €500, you'll have a great time down there. As I said, the location is everything. You're so central for where if you want to go to Dublin or just want to stay in Newry. It's a lovely spot.
For sure. Now, if 4 of you want to go for afternoon tea with the Shandon Spa, you get a spa day for 4 people. A 1.5-hour thermal spa experience, 30 minutes private Bayview tub experience, as I mentioned, a glass of bubbly, and afternoon tea for 4. I'm thinking that could be a nice little girls' break. But guys, you know, really, if you can go on these experiences, you really should, because we deserve it too. We need to love ourselves more as men, I think.
That's a good shout out there, Greg.
Yeah,
can the men come up with a better bid than the ladies?
I don't know. Good.
I like that one.
Call.
That's a good call.
Again, we're estimating this at €800, but bids are open right now. What's it worth to you? 07491 25,000. You'll be really well looked after there as well. Okay, and our next lot, David James concert with overnight stay in the Sligo Park Hotel. There's a lot going on with that one. Obviously, you get to see David and his band in concert, but you get, you know, you're staying in Sligo, you can get for a couple of drinks beforehand, somewhere else or whatever you want to do.
No driving.
Exactly.
Lovely breakfast in the morning. I have stayed in that hotel, Greg.
I'm sure you have.
It's a lovely hotel just outside Sligo.
And that gig's on May 25th.
Yeah, there'll be a big crowd there. David's pulling big crowds wherever he goes at the moment, so you'll enjoy it. But good crack, and you can have the comfort of just have a late night, go to bed late, and get up early and have a lovely breakfast.
And we've put a guide price of $250 on that. I mean, it could be worth much more or whatever, but we had to put a guide on, and that's what it is. How can you put a price on an experience of seeing David James live? I don't know. Now, 2-night stay at Harvey's Point. You talked about this also as well. Another luxurious experience that not everyone can do, but everyone hopefully can bid. We're estimating this about €500. Again, this is just a guide to get things going. You don't have to bid 5. We'd love if you did, but we don't have to.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, you know, businesses can bid on this stuff as well. Right, so what's thanks to our friends at Harvey's Point, we've a great relationship with them, of course. What does this entail, Sean?
So it's very simple. Is if you like what you hear, if there's something that you want to start bidding on, now's the time to do it. So you can either ring us on 07491 25,000, or you can send an email to auction@highlandradio.com. So it's now live. Who knows? Like some of them last year, Greg, we had 3 or 4 bids in total, and that was it. You might be
We
lucky.
are in a price point whereby you need a few bob.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
the trick. But also, because you might get this cheaper, it's bringing some experiences into the price range of some. We know this is not for everybody, right? But you certainly could get a very good deal here as well. So 07491 25,000 bid. We don't expect you to remember everything because it would be impossible. But as Sean mentioned, on our Facebook page there, you'll see a list and further instructions. You can send a bid to auction at highlandradio.com. Auctions or auction?
Auction
at highlandradio.com. Right, okay. You looking forward to Fridays? I am. It's kind of been going on for ages, and then it's kind of crept up because and this is a big frustration for those around me. I really don't like to plan too far ahead. I'm the worst person to be involved in something like this because I never like to presume I'll be around for it, right? But it looks like I'm going to make Friday. Oh my God.
You might, but I won't.
You don't want to spend a day in my head, I'll tell you that,
As
Sean.
well, I'll tell
Right,
you.
okay, so as we've been saying, we're giving €1,000 away every hour from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. €10 a ticket. You know the charities he's supporting now. Other presenters can mention them, but you know how important this all is. 7 to 9, Lee Gooch is on air with the naughty alarm clock building up to the fantastic day ahead. I'm on then from 9 till 12. Lee's going to stick with me, I think, for the first hour. Sean, you might as well. We'll see what the crack is. But then we've got live music and chat and conversation from 10 to 12. No serious business this Friday. It's all going to be fun, crack, conversation. And it's throughout the course of the day as well. Obviously, I'm focused in on 9 till 12, right? But John Breslin's got a cracking show coming up as well with some fantastic live music. David James. I'm trying to figure out who has the most draws. I think it's John, isn't it? John?
No, it's actually going to work out evenly.
So I've got one.
No, you're going to have two. We're going to have you just
Brilliant.
before 12.
So 10 to 11, 10 to 12-ish.
Well, Daniel's going to be here roughly about 11:30.
Okay,
so
cool.
I think we're going to do one with him as well.
Right. John Breslin then has another $2,000 to give away. David James has $2,000 to give away. And Ivan has $2,000 to give away as well. So if you get your ticket now, you're in all 9 draws. No worry. You can just sit back and enjoy. By the way, I didn't realise Declan Bradley is in with Ivan Borland and My Generation. I didn't see from 7 till 7:30. That's great. And Marty Frill's got $1,000.
Yeah. So that's we're spreading it right across the day.
It's a Marty party with €1,000.
I think the other thing to mention, Greg, is that it's an open day. So if you're in the town, come and see us. We'll have teas and biscuits and a few cakes probably lying around. And that's just for me and you.
Yes, everybody else say what's going to be here for everyone
can
else.
Bring their own. But no, we're encouraging people to come up and say hello. They can.
Do I need to organise a lift?
Do you what?
Need to organise a lift?
No, you'll be okay.
Oh, balls.
You'll be here. You'll be here. Well, if you're here till 8 o'clock, then yeah, maybe.
Okay. What
Might
time?
be an incentive in it to keep you.
I'm only joking.
A glass of something.
Right. Okay. So that's great. And call up, say hello any stage throughout the day. We'd love to see. And we don't just say that, by the way. We love to meet people. Have a chat, get pictures, and I've mentioned the sort of daytime crew here, but we've got fantastic presenters across the weekend and every night. Your Tommies, your Rosemarys, and all the rest of them will be milling around the place. Hopefully, an incredibly important part of the Highland family, and we couldn't do anything without as many of them that are available being involved in the day. So we really look forward to that as well. It's a good time to see your nighttime presenters in daylight to see if they burst into flames or anything.
It is, and you know what? We're celebrating. Yes, we're raising thousands of pounds for charity, but we're 35 years on air, Greg, and that's a milestone for everybody. And there's people that have been here for almost those 35 years.
I'm sorry.
So
I
let's celebrate
really think they need to look at themselves there. Says the man who's here 20 years.
See, I'm a blow-in still.
Caroline, how long have you been here? Caroline, how long? No, but how long? I know it's too long with me, but how long? 35. So you're here 35. I don't know how she stays so fresh, actually, and motivated. It's fantastic. It's brilliant. I mean that honestly.
Well, she's completely in control of you, Greg. That's why.
But you see, what happens is she I might be ready for the chop soon. She works with a presenter, gets bored with them, gets shot of them, and then brings someone else in. I could be coming to the water. My glory days could be over shortly.
You said about Friday, 50-50.
Exactly. Okay, right. So please join us on Friday. And it's great that we're based. I love being out and about, but it's lovely to be in the studio as well because it gives us a lot of latitude to do lots of different stuff. So if you can bid on the auction, we'd love you to do that. Please continue to buy your tickets and just do it all in the knowledge that it is about raising money for 3 fantastic charities We did really well last year, and it'd be great if we could crack on from that. All right, Sean, unless there's anything to add, go to the Facebook page, by the way, for a list of the lots and how to bid and what have you. We've got values there. Get the ball rolling. You never know.
Just one last thing, Greg. If businesses do want to donate, they can send an email to me at auctions@highlandradio.com. So if there's something that they think could help us.
Oh, right, okay. So if they have an item or a product or a service. Yeah,
we'll encourage it, because what we might do is we might close some off if we reach a certain figure.
Great to actually put another
and if we
one
can
in.
add more stuff in.
Okay,
So I would
brilliant.
encourage, if you're hearing us now, if there is something you think can add value on Friday, we'd be delighted to hear from you. And obviously, we'll give you a shout out for doing what you're doing and supporting us.
Should we name some hotels for the crack to put pressure on them?
No, we'll leave it with them.
Oh, I'm so tempted. Okay. Right.
Maybe by Thursday we might try
it. We'll see. I can't. I've no filter. Right. We'll be back with more on the show after these.
Watch the show live now on YouTube, Facebook, and at highlandradio.com. The 9 till noon show is brought to you by Letterkenny Credit Union, with monster loans available up to €60,000 for all occasions. Visit letterkennycu.ie.
Your specialty is quality tiles, bathroom suites and wooden floors. Who has the best range of tiles in Donegal?
Crawford Tiles.
The best wood flooring?
Crawford Tiles.
The best bathroom suites?
Crawford Tiles.
5-day bathroom refits?
Crawford Tiles.
And who's been tampering with my questions?
That'll be me.
Crawford Tiles, Castlefin. That'll be them. 07491 43942.
March Madness has arrived at your local Maple store across Donegal. Mark your calendar for Tuesday, March 11th, when you can enjoy an incredible 10% off almost everything in store all day long. But that's not all. Follow your local Maple store on Facebook to stay updated on exclusive weekly offers and exciting Easter competitions. And not forgetting, your local Maple store has everything you need for the perfect St. Patrick's weekend. Maple Stores. Fresh, convenient, local.
Are you on the hunt for a reliable car that offers exceptional value for money? At iMotors, we have a huge range of 2024 nearly new Nissan models available. Whether it's petrol, hybrid or fully electric, Nissan has a 2024 model that suits your lifestyle. All our nearly new Nissans come with low mileage and are prepared by our expert team. Visit us today at imotors.ie to find out more.
iMotors, fearless generation.
Change is the only constant in business. So whether you're starting or growing your business, our dedicated business teams will always be here to support you every step of the way, because the best businesses never stop beginning. Search Bank of Ireland Business. Bank of Ireland. Begin. Bank of Ireland is regulated by the Central Bank of Ireland.
It's the holiday of a lifetime. Highland in the Sun 2025. This September 14th to the 21st, we go back to the stunning 4-star Sol Costa Gerada Hotel Saloon for 7 nights dinner, bed and breakfast and lots of great entertainment with some of your favourite acts in Irish country music. Don't delay and book today by contacting Country Music Tours on 074 9119 955 or email info@countrymusictours.ie. Don't miss out on the holiday of a lifetime.
Now, we are going to be returning to Kouture because we had more Donegal participants in this fantastic competition. And we've got a group of individuals who took part in Kouture regional finals on Wednesday night in the Helix Dublin and got through to the Dublin City finals in May. And we have Niamh Hegarty, who's an art teacher at Moville Community College. Good morning to you. Thank you so much for calling up.
Morning, Greg.
How are you getting
for
on?
having us. Yeah, all good. Yeah, thank you.
We have Clara Doherty, one of the designers. Hi, Clara.
Hi.
Good to have you with us. Also with us is Maya McDermott, who's a model and also one of the designers. Hi, Maya.
Hiya.
Thanks so much for joining us. And last but not least, Alicia Atherton, who's an ambulatory wheelchair user and one of the designers.
Hi.
What's an ambulatory wheelchair user?
Well, it's kind of a wheelchair user that doesn't have to use a wheelchair all the time.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm able to walk and sometimes I'm not.
And that just depends on how your body's talking to you and you make that call in that relation. Okay. Right. So, whose idea was this to get involved in Kouture?
All three of us.
All three of you. So you were just sitting chatting and you thought, right, let's do it. I'll stay with you then, Maya. So remind us of the conversation and then why you decided to enter Kouture and the approach that you wanted to take.
Well,
every year the school runs, like, you can enter junkature. They run a junkature class, and so we just happened to sign up for it, and we kind of just wanted to make a dress that would make a statement and maybe go places.
And it would, you didn't have to, did you? But you decided to design a dress around wearing it in a wheelchair, or the theme of it?
So a lot of junkature dresses can be a wee bit, they can be kind of big, but we wanted one that would be tight so it could fit in.
And often because of the source material, they would be quite heavy.
Yeah.
And cumbersome. They look beautiful, but you know, if you wanted to come in and out of a of your chair or what have you, some of the designs, so that means in a way, and this is not to take away from any of the other designs, you kind of had an extra level of design that you had to put into this.
Yeah, and you had to think it all out.
All right, Alicia, what kind of give us some idea of the thought process and how you come up with the design?
Well, it was really like the theme. We wanted to go with something like of the sea. We live all beside beaches, and we see a lot of plastic sea pollution and stuff, and really wanted to represent that.
So that's a challenge you laid yourself for. It has to be sort of, of a design that it's comfortable if you're in a wheelchair or etc. Then you have to source the materials from the sea and what have you. Clara, so what kind of materials then did you start gathering up and thinking, right, we can do something with this?
Well, when we first saw the sea, we were like, what do you see at a beach? You see sea glass and seashells. So we went down to our local beaches, which are like a 2-minute drive. We collected seashells and sea glass. And then we got crushed mirror because it's like shiny and it gives a glass kind of effect. And since we can't have a big poofy dress to make a statement, we wanted it to be really embellished.
Yeah, of course, because you have to sort of accentuate different things because you don't necessarily have all of the stuff. So Maya, then what do you lay this stuff out? How do you even start? Right, you've got the source. How do you even start sort of saying, right, how can we create something wearable out of this?
Well, I suppose one of our main goals was that it had to be kind of glamorous, and so we just went about designing a top, and we drew out the design of the top, and then I suppose we just started sticking it, and one thing led to another.
And is there a mermaid theme to this as well?
Yeah, so our global goal was life below water. So we kind of had like a mermaid theme kind of, and
I suppose it actually fits the sort of more shaped design that you had to have. Yeah. All right, okay. And of course, I mean, is it a coincidence that you would associate a mermaid with having to move around in a different way? Maybe a wheelchair user for some might see it as having to. I don't know. Is that an accident or design or? It does work out in any case, right? So, Maya, you were the model.
Yeah.
Alicia, what was important to you about this project and getting across as part of the design? The tail? Did you have any responsibility for the tail? Who took on the tail?
Well, we used like an old tutu just to make the tail. And
who had an old tutu? Where did you find an old tutu?
I wore it to a wedding whenever I was little.
I can imagine sitting around the table. Does anyone have an old tutu? Oh yeah, I have one.
Yeah.
Niamh Hegarty, we've got some idea of how how the students came up with this idea. And, I suppose when you see the finished results, it doesn't necessarily tell the whole story of the dedication and commitment and the failed designs and then what worked and all that kind of stuff. You must be incredibly proud of the girls.
Very proud of the girls. Huge challenge to get to this point. We started designing in September, and of course the girls having the challenge of designing the costume in the wheelchair was harder than everybody else in the class, I suppose. But they coped so well with it. They thought of everything from obviously having all the detail of the dress on the front of the costume, but obviously because we can't see the back of it, and the materials that they used. Obviously, they were very inspired.
Well, you see, they have to look. You don't want to have to over-explain what it is. But you don't want it to just look like someone's got a load of bottles tied to them.
Yeah, exactly. You have to make it very pretty.
It has to be pretty, right? But at the same time, it can't be so pretty that you have to say, well, that's... You know what I mean? It's a tough old balance to strike. And as well as that, Maya, there's a message along with this too, and I think the theme of this dress was freedom, because that's an important part of this competition as well, isn't it? It ties in. I think you have managed to pull in so many different elements into the one thing, between, our waste, between, our abuse of the sea effectively, but also the beauty that comes from the sea, and also to, the message of freedom too of the water.
We believe that, there's freedom in the water, and even outside of any of that every girl should have freedom to be a model and be able to model and get up on the stage.
Well, let's get to that.
Yeah.
What was it like? And as the only wheelchair user that was a model on the night, does that make it extra special? Do you look around and go, oh, well, are people being seen? I don't know. What was your feeling? What was your emotion?
I was very emotional. It was very surreal, but it was like unbelievable, and I suppose it took maybe. It was a lot of confidence to kind of get up on the stage, but then whenever I was up, the crowd was just fantastic.
And you can draw so much from that into your in anything's achievable. Alicia, were you fighting for this role, or were you happy enough to see Maya?
I think Maya was always going to be the model.
Yeah?
She's the best.
All right, okay. What do you think, Clara, of the messaging that, as a talk there of all the different elements? Did you stand back when it was all done and go, right, you know what, we've pulled this off?
I mean, we were all at the start. At the start you don't know what's happening, but then it came together so well, and we did way better than we all expected.
Yeah.
And I think the message is so important, because in the water everybody's free. They're free to move just as I would be in the water.
100%.
And that's really important.
And as well as that too, we have seen through amazing facilities that we have, even for people with learning issues, disabilities, or whatever, the water is magical in terms of inclusion.
Yeah.
It's so inclusive, the water, which I think is really quite remarkable. What was it like for an experience in terms of being at the regional finals, Clara? And I suppose looking on proudly as Maya went up there and represented all you had worked on.
Well, I heard everybody was sat next to me. Even Maya said when she was on the stage, she could just hear my scream. She was so loud. I forced everybody to stand up. I was like, right, when she goes on stage, everybody up.
Yeah, okay.
I really was the hype man of the crowd.
Yeah.
I suppose so much energy, nervous energy as well went into it. It was the culmination of everything, wasn't it?
As soon as we got announced, we got through, we all just started crying. We were just crying in the hall.
We're not big criers, but I think it was just you're so tired because you wake up so early and you're done.
You're just so happy.
Yeah. Maya, what's been the sort of thing that sticks out for you in this whole experience so far? Because the journey's still ongoing, isn't it?
Well, I suppose.
Sorry, Maya. I've asked you enough questions. I was looking at Alicia.
Yeah.
And I was asking you a question. I'm just fixated by her eyes. No, I got mixed up. Alicia, what have you taken from this experience so far that sort of made you go, wow? I would say Alicia is one of these ones. You can't shut her up.
Yeah, you've got it. One.
You can't shut her. And that she's coming in and she's afraid of saying the wrong thing. I'll get a mic on her when we're off there. But there's no shame in that game either, Alicia. But the whole experience then, was it?
It was an amazing experience.
And seeing Maya there and the joy and the buzz.
Yeah, I think seeing Maya up on the stage, me and Clara, I'm just so proud. We were nearly in tears.
And I think you're a great team as well.
Yeah.
You're a great team as well.
Yeah, we worked together very well.
Which I think is a lovely thing. Is everyone here who's involved, or is there more of you?
No, this is our group,
Brilliant, okay. So, Niamh, what's next?
So next we are looking forward to the Dublin City Finals. That's on the 7th of May. We're going to go down to Dublin, and fingers crossed, if we get through, we're off to the World Final. Not sure where that's going to be hosted.
Hopefully somewhere warm.
I was going to say, let's hope it's not in beautiful Cork. As lovely as Cork is, right? What are we thinking? San Francisco?
Oh, wouldn't that be nice?
New York,
Barcelona?
Yeah.
That'd be nice.
Anywhere,
short flight.
any excuse to get away, so
All right.
that would be lovely, yeah.
Well, I mean, obviously, once you get to that stage, you need a PR person.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously, I would donate my time if you pay for the flights. But that's all to come. But it's great to still be in the process, because you can sort of fall at the full hurdle, but they're still in it, Niamh.
Yeah, they're still in it, and they're still part of it, which is really exciting. And The girls are a credit to the school. They have worked so hard on this, and you know what they say, hard work pays off. They're now getting to see their results, which is really nice. And it's been a lovely experience.
Yeah, and I think
very
also
rewarding
as well, both Alicia and Maya as well, is that you would be very inspirational to younger people, I think, and particularly young girls. Because I'm sure there are still times, but there have been times where you might be, why me, or what can I do, or this will hold me back. You know what I mean? All natural emotions. And then you've got young girls that are looking on going, wow, you know, I can be a model, I can do this.
That was part of my goal, like going on the stage, that, you know, maybe we'd show even one other girl in Ireland that, or anywhere that, you know, you can do that.
And you have
be
done it, and why not? And also do it at a standard so high that, you know, you're competing on an equal basis with all the other designs that are there. And I thought yours was particularly good. I'm not going to pretend I'm a designer, but not all of them are as good as others. And I thought you did brilliant. And the last crop of girls that we had on too, theirs was amazing as well. Right, okay, so this is a bandwagon I'm jumping on now. As soon as, if you don't make it to the Worlds, I'll be out. But at the moment, I'm in. Right? So any bit of success I want to be a part of. But you've already achieved something absolutely fantastic, and it's there for you forever. But it's on to the regional finals, and who's to say? Sorry, you've done the regional finals, on to the national finals, and who's to say where it goes from there?
Exactly.
I really hope you get through, because it'd be lovely for you all to get
Thank
away.
you.
A great
Thank
reward for what you have done together. Niamh, anything you want to add?
No, just that I'm very proud of the girls, and it's been a great experience so far. The girls are using this platform of Kouture to promote inclusiveness in our school and throughout Ireland, and I just
But do you know what I
admire
like
them so
about
much
that
for it.
stuff is doing it.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we talk about stuff.
Yeah, and we don't,
Right? But this is us seeing it, if you know what I mean. And that's real to me, do you know?
Yeah.
It's not just hyperbole or talk. You're actually really doing it. This is fully inclusive. And everyone's equal. It's not inclusive because you're in a wheelchair and Clara, it's equal because you're all friends and you've done this together.
Yeah.
And the fact that you're a wheelchair user is by the by almost, even though it's the driver for the theme and everything. And that's, to me, what inclusivity really is. And I think you have knocked it out of the park in relation to that. So, Clara, thanks so very much indeed. Well done to you. I appreciate it. Niamh, of course, I thank you, Niamh Hegarty. Clara Doherty, one of the designers. Alicia Atherton, who I keep asking questions of, but looking at somebody else, or vice versa. So with all that, you've done really well. Thank you very much indeed. That's Alicia. Do you pronounce it Alicia, or Alicia?
Alicia.
Oh, right, okay. We've been sitting here for 15 minutes, and now you tell me that it's Alicia. Okay, my niece is Alicia, you see, and she spells it the same. So that's my excuse. And Maya, no, I'm only joking. And Maya McDermott, model and one of the designers. I'm sure your families are all really proud of you as well.
100%.
Onwards and upwards. Thank you so very much indeed. And we'll stick some, if we haven't already, some images of the girls winning design on our Facebook page, and we'll all keep an eye on how they get on going forward. But for now, thank you to all of you for coming in from Phil Community School. It's been lovely speaking to you.
Thank you for
And
having us.
we'll be back with more after these.
The 9 till noon show with Letterkenny Credit Union, now offering mortgages from €40,000 to €600,000 with no hidden fees or transaction charges. Letterkenny Credit Union, 9102127.
If you're into makeup, then you'll want to know that Lancôme's elite makeup artist Lorraine Lynch will hold a makeup and skincare masterclass at McGee's Chemist Letterkenny on Thursday 13th of March at 7pm. With refreshments, giveaways and prizes, it promises to be a really enjoyable experience. Tickets at just €25 are redeemable against any Lancôme purchase on the night. Places are limited, so booking is essential. Call McGee's Chemist on 9121409 or call in store to guarantee your VIP place.
Go full family dinners on Lidl Plus. Mix and match any 3 fresh meats for €9. Give the week a tasty start with our Board B approved chicken. Make every night about our Board B approved pork and beef dishes. Then cook up a weekend of flavourful fish options. That's the week's meal sorted. Scan the Lidl Plus app and go full Lidl today.
McCullough Jewellers in Letterkenny are synonymous with fine jewellery, quality watches and giftware, with stores at Main Street, Letterkenny and the Letterkenny Shopping Centre, or online at ormccullough.com. You can choose from their quality product range in a relaxed atmosphere, and their sales staff will be happy to help you make the right choice, whatever the occasion. McCullough Jewellers, making moments magical for generations.
The Power of Choice Spring Sales event is happening now at Kelly's Toyota, Letterkenny and Mount Charles. Test drive our wide range of hybrids, plug-in hybrids and the fully electric BZ4X, and see why Toyota is Ireland's best-selling car brand again this year. There's flexible payment options and incredible offers, including our biggest Power Up booster of up to €3,000, available until the 15th of March. At Kelly's Toyota, Letterkenny and Mount Charles. Toyota, built for a better world. Terms and conditions apply. Best-selling claim based on latest published monthly figures.
Highland Radio weather updates with McElhenney's. Discover trending new styles each week in fashion, footwear, accessories, homeware and more. Visit us to explore the latest arrivals in store or shop online at mcelhenneys.com today.
Yes, one of my favourite parts of the job is getting to meet amazing people like Maya, Alicia and Clara. 3 amazing girls, and hopefully they get through the next round now. They've already achieved so much. Just nipped out for a picture. Lovely, lovely people. And you know what? When we've got teachers like Niamh Hegarty there that are looking after our young ones in schools, we're blessed in that regard as well. The weather. Later this afternoon, showers will develop more widely the further north you are, gradually spreading southwards over the region. Highest temperatures 6 to 8 degrees, light to moderate north and northwest winds will increase fresh at times. Can you go to this one, Sean? Sean Quinn is back in with us because, you know, we have a finger on the pulse and things move quickly. And when things move quickly, you know, we have to report live. Sean, so we launched the auction.
Yeah.
It was. We didn't launch it, right? But we started talking about it. And what's happened since? Talk to me.
So we've had some great bids in the Spanish Villa. Is €800.
Are we mentioning the person's name? Is the person Freddie? €800.
€800. And Century Complex has now gone to, it started at 200 and it's gone now to €300.
Do I know who that person is that bid €300?
If you look on the...
I know, but I think I know who he is. No, do I? It doesn't matter.
I don't know. You can call them out.
Okay, well done. Margaret, you've been bid out. Mihal, you are the top bidder now. €300. It still represents fantastic value. Thank you so much. That €300, we hope it goes up, Mihal, but that €300 is going straight. Just think of it like this. €100 to Donegal Cancer Flights, €100 to Huey's Corner, €100 to Blue Stack. That's what your votes. That's what your bids are doing. So we can split that up now, but we want more. Anything else?
Yeah, David James is €250.
Okay.
So fair
right,
play.
Brilliant. That's right on what we estimated the value. So hopefully you get that, but we'd love to see you outbid in a loving way. Harvey's.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It started at 2, it went to 3. It's
Sharon,
now
you've been outbid, so if you want that, you're going to have to come back in. It's up to 600 squidlies.
€600. Fair play. That's a brilliant bid.
Fantastic.
So in the space of 20 minutes, we've nearly made $2,000 there, Greg.
Yes,
and this is only the start.
Okay, so Atlantic Camp. We've got 3 nights stay in the Wad Atlantic Camp. You can bid on that right now. Give us a call 07491 25,000. The Spanish Villa current winning bid €800, but you can outbid Freddie there. I feel bad because Freddie's probably such a lovely person. We're still awaiting our first bid on the dinner at Nevin Maguire's. I remember last year there was 1 or 2 of them that took a little while because you had to figure it out, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So some of these are going to be figure it out and then bid. We're going to keep it up until Friday, aren't we?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, right through the day on Friday.
Okay, so the brilliant silver party at Century Play, Mihal has a bid of 300 on that. That could well win it, you know. We're still waiting for our first bid in the Canal Court Hotel. It's a beautiful hotel in the heart of Newry. You can explore Newry, or you can go to Dublin if you wish. The Shandon Spa, I'm half tempted to win this one myself if I had the money. 4 people get a 1.5 hour thermal spa experience, 30 minutes in the private pool, afternoon tea for 4. We're waiting for our first bid on that. David James, 250. Freddie, well done. You're the winner at this point. And Harvey's point, £600. Michelle, well done to you. So all very exciting. All bids are still open. It's great to see a bit of activity. As you said, $2,000 already raised for our charities.
And I just want to add to this, Greg. Sharon's Hair and Beauty has called in.
Oh, Sharon.
And what they have given me is a lovely donation. So what they're doing is up to €2,000 is a human hair wig.
Wow.
So what they're basically, what Sharon's explained to me is somebody that's going through the cancer process.
Or alopecia, perhaps. Even.
Yeah. And they don't have the money, okay? Then what they're basically saying is somebody can come and bid for this. So somebody you know who may need this or is going through that process, you can now come and bid on this.
All right, okay. We'll get more details of that.
I think it's a lovely thing.
That's just been fluid, hasn't it? But
this came in the last 10 minutes. She rang in. So that's a lovely thing to give. So thank you very much to Sharon. And I just know that somebody's going to benefit from that at some stage in the coming weeks, months.
All right, fantastic stuff. So there's all different stuff there for all different reasons. And it's a great wee buzz. Get onto our social media, by the way, and you will see the link. The link is there. You'll see how you can bid. It's really simple. Give us a call, right? Just call 0749125,000. If you need any information or clarification, that's what we're here for. We're more than happy to accommodate that. If you want to email a bid auction
at highlandradio.com.
Yeah. But already, we just talked about it half an hour ago, and bish, bash, bosh, the bids
power
are coming in.
The power of radio, Greg. We'll keep her going. Thanks a million.
It's a bit more than just radio, though.
Do you think so? Is it my voice or your voice?
Not sure it's your voice.
I'm gone. Bye-bye.
Okay. Right, looking forward to Friday. We're going to have so much fun. And really, please come up and see us, will you? We'll have tea, coffee, cake, buns. I would love sandwiches. I'm not sure if there's sandwiches, but what is normally here, which are delicious, is no sandwiches. All right. Scones? No scones. So can people bring scones? So there's tea, tray bakes. Well, that is scones. Scones are tray bakes, aren't they? Okay. John buns, sausage rolls. No, I'm just thinking of what I'd like to eat now. All right. Anyway, that's Friday. That is where we have to leave it today. Thank you so much for sticking around. Thanks so much, really genuinely, for your generosity in terms of buying tickets and also your bids. It's a lovely thing to be even a tiny wee part of, supporting our three charities. But we're going to go now. We're back with our programme as normal tomorrow from 9. So have a fantastic Tuesday. And stay safe and stay tuned, because Mr.